Um. Wait. So what were you guys? Come on, man. What did you guys have to say about my area?
Like, you got shit everywhere,
Yeah,
right? You
man.
got half a glass of orange juice that shouldn't be there.
Have a
You
bottle of
should have drank
Gatorade.
that already, first of all. Yeah, half
I
the bottle of
literally.
Gatorade. Come on.
Okay, so literally, I am holding the bottle of Gatorade that you're talking about, and it is empty. First of all, so yeah,
I see
I'm
some orange in the bottom.
I said the Gatorade, man, not the orange juice.
No, I'm talking about the Gatorade.
Second of all, literally just went downstairs to pour me a glass. All right,
I
that's
love how
number
cute
two.
you are too, put a little napkin under the orange juice. Give me shit. This man's from Bel Air. Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, yo, he's.
I don't want any ants, man.
There you
Why
go.
Returnal trending? What's going on?
Because
So
it's
yeah,
a
man,
great
that's
game.
as simple as that. So don't come to me with this non-existent smoke. All right.
Like I'm saying, man, at least you didn't have lotion in the background. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know.
That
I see a
would've been
bottle there.
embarrassing. That would have
Yeah,
been
let's-
embarrassing.
Yeah, let's take a look at your room. Let's see how you stack up.
That's a little no. That's no, because not just my room. It's me and my fiance's room. As
Gotcha.
she points out every time, because there are the times where you just how you kind of just have a mind lapse. You just say things that you're sort of used to already when you're living by yourself. So all the time I say like, "Oh yeah, it's my room." She's like, "No, it's our room."
Oh,
Like,
right.
I'm sorry. It's, I'm not used to it.
All right. So
Yeah, I'll check it right now.
yeah, tell me how I'm sounding.
All right. Well, you need to talk too, buddy. Success.
We're here. We're live. I'm fighting millennia as we speak, and I might die right now.
How's that going for you, man?
This is my second time fighting her. I've already beaten her, but not this build. Not with this build.
Yeah, I do have some things to say about Elden Ring once we get to after the games that we played segment.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been months already,
good,
man. This
Everyone sounds good.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Um,
Sounds good. Sounds good.
let me put the thumbnail up and then we can get started.
Yeah. Hoya. Yeah.
Okay, Bubbles.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying
Who's your
to.
Bubbles? Who's your Bubbles?
The hell? Who are you talking to? You talking to a grown ass man like that?
My Boricua brother.
My body guy? Yeah, not the bubble.
Man, it's a silly morning today. I don't know what's going on. I woke up like 1 a.m. Started
Yeah.
thinking about The Conjuring and Insidious and all that stuff.
Oh,
I'm thinking about that black lady from Insidious, and now all of a sudden like, I can go back to sleep for a little bit. And I feel like watching The Conjuring today.
scurry. Scurry.
That's good.
And Soul's audio, it ain't there. It says something about network. That's
We're joining
whack.
the party.
Yeah. Network connectivity problem for our boy Soul.
Our man's going through it right now.
Damn.
He took his microphone in his hand and for some reason just crushed it and he broke his microphone.
By the way, do you hear my controller? Click, click, clack, clack.
Nah, I haven't heard it this entire time.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, well, I'm gonna post up on Twitter that we're live so that I can exit out of this thing here. And then,
Soul, I mean, oh yeah, there we go. I was going to say, leave the party
did
and...
you get kicked out?
No, I think he just left.
Oh, okay. Well, in any case, yeah. So what's up, everybody? What's going on? We're kind of struggling today.
Welcome.
Welcome to the DualShock Sense
Podcast.
Yeah,
We
man.
chilling.
It's been quite a wild week, so to speak, man. Don't you
Yeah.
think,
And quite the rough weekend for the U.S. a little bit.
Yes, for sure.
So stay safe out there, y'all.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, I have family members up in Buffalo.
Man,
And the first thing I did was call them up and see. So
were they good?
yeah. Thankfully they're safe. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hearts and thoughts and prayers out to the people over there. That's some crazy shit, man.
They got I think they caught the guy, right?
Yeah, they did. But
That's good.
the whole ramifications surrounding
No,
it is just,
horrible.
even leading up to it, it's just like absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we want to start this podcast off on a grim note, but yeah, but still, give thoughts and prayers to those people, man, for sure.
For sure. So, and with that said, we welcome you here where we can detach a little bit from reality and touch on it, but also clown on it because we got a few things to talk about this week. But we'll wait for
a few things we could clown on this week that'll make you laugh, and we'll have a good time
for sure.
But yeah, man, it's but regardless, still, definitely thoughts and prayers to those people. But in any sense, as we wait for our host here,
yes, sir.
He just got disconnected, and I think he sent me another message. He said Jesus. Okay.
He said Jesus.
He's praying right now. He's praying right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing.
But in any sense, I guess we could just sort of kick it off now since we actually went live.
Yeah, for sure.
Until he actually comes in. Welcome back, everybody, to the DualShock Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of interviewing with
Connoisseur? You went French there.
No. Welcome to number 60, fellas. Welcome to number 60. I am your co-host here, Macho, the king of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic. And I'm joined by my ever-eclectic and Boricua brother here, Walt. How's it going, buddy?
Salutations.
That big ass
Here we go.
head motherfucker. I mean,
no connection ass. Gatorade, no drinking ass.
Oh, man.
Lotion wearing ass.
Macho, it just sometimes it happens to me,
This is wild. See what happens when you pray to Jesus, Soul? You come back as swiftly as you remember.
This man got bottles lying around. We ain't got no connection. We got the carpet being changed. What we doing, huh? Big head? How about no order? I don't know.
Okay.
Today I'm actually.
You just had an aneurysm, man.
Shut the hell up, Soul. Ain't nobody got time for you.
This is wild. You sound really good, by the way. So he came in swiftly with that. You got a big ass head. I was like, oh, that's Soul.
That's Soul.
Thanks, man.
Oh gosh.
Like no cap. Like that. That's something that in middle school I was told a lot. So.
I'm
sorry. They call you Blockhead.
I think
they call you the dude from Mario Bros.
I think I was like called like no, I'm not gonna say the word. It's in Spanish, but yeah, man. To your question, Macho, I'm doing pretty good. I'm crying because Soul hurt my feelings. Well, this dude's a clown. But yeah, man. Ready to talk games. I actually read manga this week, so the maniac in me is alive and well. The manga maniac as well. I decided that I would get through a whole series, and I actually sat down yesterday and I read all through Fire Punch in one sitting. That was fantastic.
Damn, did you wear a diaper?
Dude, I was in the toilet the whole time. Because I was literally puking and shitting the whole time. But yeah, man. Can't wait to talk games, and I've been playing a couple interesting things this week. I think Macho will be delighted to hear, but yeah, man, can't wait to get into it. And we got Soul here that got smoke for people, and I don't know, man. I feel like Soul has a responsibility to not smoke people that we don't know. That's disrespectful. We should be accepting of everyone, but I don't know. That's just him, guys. He has a little problem, but we're here for him. We support him.
That thumbnail it tells two stories to me.
It does. It does.
Knowing him, he's a writer, so he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So first, Macho, thank you for taking the reins on that, on the podcast. Yeah, I'm Soul, the rightful host of the DualShock Sense Podcast. the connoisseur anime waifus. And yeah, man, I'm excited to get the ball rolling on this, man. It's been a hell of a week that was not light on news, to say the least. Um, so yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the games that we've been playing this week. But before we do, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out, consider subscribing to the channel. We would greatly appreciate all of those things. So yeah, who wants to start and talk about the things that they have been doing this past week?
I can go first. It's been sort of light this week for me.
Okay.
And it's mostly just because of just actually getting all stuff for work together. I've been getting a lot of stuff for the wedding. It's countdown, really just to the wedding, man. My wedding, by the way, in case people are wondering. So I'm getting a lot of things in place, and then we're getting everything finalized. So a lot of gaming time has been kind of just not taken away, but like it's just been lost on me. But what I've mostly been playing in regards to everything that has been Trails in the Sky second chapter. So this one is again it's a part of the Legend of Heroes JRPG series, and this one goes back to like the maybe like late 2000s or so when this game actually released, and it basically is kind of like reading a whole graphic novel in this game because there's so much dialogue, but there's a really core JRPG here. We have characters, you have a whole adventure going on, you recruit party members and such. And this second chapter is already starting off really, really good. I really like the party shifts and the amount of characters you're getting. You're getting recurring characters from the first game, but you get them more frequently. So it's not as, I guess, if we really went on the first chapter, it's more kind of like an adventure. You take Joshua and Estelle, like the two people you play as, and you go throughout the entire country where they learn to be like basically master mercenaries of sorts. In the second game, you achieve that status of like being like a full-on mercenary. So you're essentially just kind of going to these different regions you've been to before and helping solve problems, but it all underlays into like this really more grand story of like a secret organization that they're trying to thwart. But the biggest like plot point here is the fact that Joshua is not prevalent. Like he's not here anymore. He actually exited out at the end of the first game. So now it's also this other mystery of like, where's Joshua? Where did he go to? What's going on with him? This kind of stuff. So it's really cool, really intricate stuff, and I love like how it's chapter based. I love when JRPGs are chapter based because that's when you really feel the impact of like certain scenarios, or like, okay, this is the end of one chapter, and trying to go into the next one, see what kind of mysteries we're gonna find. And this one has that same pace. So it's a really good pace. It's really good JRPG stuff, but I really like it so far. I'm really enjoying just overall, and I can't wait to actually play the third chapter here. I think that's the end of that's the end. There's a Trails in the Sky trilogy, and then it goes into Trails of Cold Steel, and then comes a couple other games that I'm sure you guys have heard of, being JRPG guys. But yeah, so far it's really good stuff. It's a classic JRPGs. Well, I think you would love it, especially if you play it on PC. I would recommend the Vita versions or the PSP versions, but the thing is, those are kind of archaic because the gameplay is really, really slow.
Right.
So it definitely benefits you to play on a PC where you have like the enhancements to play it, to have like turbo speed and like gameplay speed and stuff like that, just so you can get blast through some battles and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's really good stuff. But the other game that I've been playing and actually caught on a really good sale on PC, fellas. And this was a series I was really hesitant on getting because I knew it would require some like PC tinkering and a bunch of that annoying stuff that you don't really get when you're dealing with consoles. But I grabbed up the Arkham Collection for $7, and I couldn't say no to it. Yep. Thank you, PC gaming.
Amen.
As well as Arkham Origins, I got that for $6. So I immediately installed and started booting them up, and thankfully they don't require as much of a workaround as I was expecting. Like, they still do the old PC stuff, like the standard definition to HD era, where you have like a little configuration window, and that's where you tamper with like, or tweak rather, the graphic settings. Like nowadays, you just go into the game, you do that in the game, but Arkham Asylum and City actually had that little like configuration window where you had to tinker those graphic options there, and then that's how you play the game. But thankfully, it's not as obtuse as I was thinking it was going to be. So I started replaying Arkham Asylum, And then I look at the collectibles soul and I look at the Riddler trophies. Um, the first thing I
Yeah.
think to myself is, I had a lot of time back.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, they had a ton of stuff for that game, including all the challenges you could do and stuff like that. Um, but I'm really enjoying how I think you even made a point of this too. So when you started playing the Arkham games, how you're really enjoying how linear it was going to be, how straightforward it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I was,
The first one
yeah.
took like 6 hours for me to beat.
Yeah, I love. I kind of was looking forward to that straightforward part of it, especially playing like JRPGs back to back. So it's really good. It's kind of awesome how much it holds up to this day, just like the story itself and kind of the level design, everything. Um, Combat is like super simplistic with like compared to like the older stuff, but I'm really happy with the fact that I get to replay these games at 60 frames because it does feel a lot faster and a little more challenging too, especially since I'm playing on hard. And I booted up Arkham Knight, and the amount of stuff that I've heard horror stories about that game from its PC version completely alleviated. I booted it up, super easy to just get everything going. I was hitting 90 frames per second like it was nothing. My computer, which is not even breathing hard, it wasn't taking off like a rocket. No matter how good that game looks, it was still like really really holding up and doing well. And I can't wait to replay that game too. So I never played Origins, so that's something to look forward to. But right now I'm kind of in my Batman. I'm still in my Batman phase right now, and I want to play through the games, so it's still good. I love Arkham Asylum, and I was wondering, so did you stop? You finished Arkham City, right? You didn't start Arkham Knight.
Yeah, I finished City and have not started Arkham Knight.
Do you plan to soon, or are you just gonna leave it
Uh,
away there for a little bit?
Eventually, I want to kind of finish off Horizon, and I'm not gonna finish Divinity anytime soon, but I still like that's kind of my priority right now.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's all I've been playing. So this just say Arkham Asylum and Trails in the Sky, and then I mean, so it's something what I want to do for if I want to play like other like Arkham City or anything like that. I'm not really sure yet. I still gotta figure it out because I want to play the Quarry when it comes out as much as I want to, but man, I don't know about that price tag. I don't know about that one. Like that's $70 for like a probably like a I don't
Oh,
know
is it
like
really?
yeah, it's a $70 game. 2K priced at $70.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh
so
well, yeah, it's 2K.
uh,
Gotcha.
yeah. So I was as much as I want to play that. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling that week. If I'm feeling, you know, like that paycheck was hitting. So we'll see.
Awesome,
Yeah, that's
dude.
it.
Um, so I'm guessing, because I don't know what the timeline was for you exactly, but did you buy the Arkham trilogy after the Gotham Knights gameplay?
Yeah, actually, yep. That
Okay.
was, which is probably a reason why I was kind of feeling like the Batman mood or something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Cool, man. I'll hop in here next because I don't have much to really add. This week, really, I haven't played much. Like even Divinity, this is the first time I'm booting it up in what probably feels like several days. Um, and Horizon, I think Horizon yesterday was the first time I played Horizon in like a week. So I really have not been playing anything this past week. What I have been doing has been watching more TV. Finished Ozark season 4. That was really really cool. Um,
Is that the last
Macho, young,
season?
yeah, that's the last season.
Okay.
Macho, young Justice, dude. Young Justice is fucking cool,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
fucking cool. I finished season 1 last night. Um, and like it's always like super hard in like a sort of like ensemble sort of like TV show or book or game or whatever it is to make you actually care about each one of the characters within like that main group. And like it manages to do that. And it's funny because like I hated Kid Flash. Like I hated him. Like I didn't like him at all, but until that episode that's like solely focused on him where he has to like run across like the entire US to like give this heart for this girl who's about to die so she can get like a heart transplant or whatever. Until that episode happened, I really hated him. But then once that episode actually did, come across and basically like solely focused on him, I don't know. It made me do like a 180 on his character. He like actually matured by the end of the season. because he's so immature throughout the entire thing. But then like once that episode hit, he kind of changes a little, and like that everything kind of clicked for me with him. Um, but yeah, man, I just love the fact that the show is able to make me like actually genuinely care about all of that main cast, which was awesome. I'm a little bit nervous because I did some looking as I usually do with just shows in general. I always like checking out like rankings in terms of like the seasons where people like rank seasons, and I think what I've been able to gather is the reason why people rank season 2 and 3 lower than 1 is because of the main cast. They feel that the main cast in season 1, like the OG cast of Superboy, Artemis, Kid Flash, Robin, Miss Martian, Zatanna, et cetera, Aqualad, right? That group is just far superior than like the subsequent groups that follow in the next 2 seasons. So I'm a little nervous about that because like I do love that OG group. So and I'm already like I finished the first episode of season 2, so I'm a little bit nervous because like even in that episode, like half of the original group just isn't there. So like I'm a little sad about that.
Yeah. They shift up the story a lot, like within the next couple of seasons, and like
Yeah.
who's in the actual group. And I think the one thing to take away from what like you're concerned about that is think of it a lot like Avatar, where the Airbender, you love the OG cast, right? There's nothing to really compare to that. And I feel like this is the same thing with Young Justice season 1, but the story elements of season 2 just go above and beyond what season 1 did.
Okay.
And I feel like they up the ante with every season.
I'm excited. Like it's not like it's gonna put like it's gonna dampen my experience or anything like that. Like I'm still excited to continue on, and like they introduced Batgirl and Wonder Girl or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. They already seem really, really cool. One thing I do want to get like both of your guys' opinions on, and like how you guys feel about this in like all forms of media, is I hate the trope of like Blue Beetle is awesome. This is probably like my first like real exposure to him, and
Same
and
here.
like
I love Blue Beetle in the show.
like the outfit is or the suit itself is like iconic, even though I've never like actually like seen him in a comic or in a movie or whatever the case may be. Like like I've always seen that suit, and it's the coolest thing to me. But the thing that I hate, and it is the sort of thing where they have obviously a clearly Spanish character, and he throws out a ese or mi hermano or just like the occasional like he'll be talking Spanish or English for like an entire sentence, and then throws out one Spanish word to remind you that he's Spanish, and then he goes back to talking English. Like I don't know, it's just such a stereotype. It's the same thing how I felt about Manny in The Last of Us Part 2, where he's like talking like oh man, yeah, I'm so glad that we killed you, pendejo. And then he goes back to talking English, like I don't know, to me it's just like just have them like talk, like I don't need that reminder, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I always feel weird about that stuff where it's like, oh, they got to remind you that he's Spanish, so he's got to throw out at least one Spanish word in there every now and then. I don't know, it's such a nitpick, but I don't know, I always feel weird about it. I'm sure you guys don't have that issue, but
no, because the thing is, like, I grew up with that. Like, so to me, it's sort of normal for Spanish people to do that because my mom did that so much growing up. My dad didn't really, but my mom was always the one to go back and forth between Spanish and English. So like one of the things I always made fun of her about was the fact that she always said beso. When she's talking like a conversation, and that for her, that at least when she's talking, that means like a thing, like it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like a kind of a sentence filler, more or less. So to kind of have that with characters, I was like, oh, okay, they do that too. Like I didn't really think much about it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess, and I don't know how you grew up, but like I guess around my family, like they would speak like a lot more like in more like sentences in Spanish instead of like just throwing out like the occasional like one word.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We didn't really like. I mean, I grew up in just only Spanish speaking. There was never any English because I grew up in Puerto Rico. The only English I experienced was in school, but in terms of that trope of the the essay thing, like the essay thing, it is kind of it's noticeable. It's not. I don't mind it. I mean, I understand. Like I start thinking, okay, who's the writer? And then I see who the writer is, and I'm like, okay, Cassidy at its finest. And it's like, okay, this is why we're being a bit stereotypical. But I don't really mind it. Here's the thing. The person usually essay, like the one example you gave, essay usually is like in gangs, right? Or like between like Mexican people. I'm Puerto Rican. We don't really say essay. We just say like mano. Like instead of hermano, we say mano. Like hey mano. Like we just abbreviate it to mano. But you don't really see that in movies. I do like how in Doctor Strange, I don't know if you're gonna watch. I don't know if you even care, but there's a character that the way that she says Spanish in certain moments, I like. And she's Mexican. She's part Mexican. But the way that she talks, it's more like, okay, at home we used to like say words like that or phrases like that. So I do appreciate when it's done a bit more outside of the box phrases, not the typical essay, ayo essay, pendejo, ayo essay. I'm like, dude, come on, like, let's talk. Let's not be like quirky and stupid. But I don't really like care too much unless it's like on the nose. But yeah, usually though, so it's like Hispanic people, mainly when it's a Mexican actor in a movie, will be a bad guy. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like usually like...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Most often than not, they're part of a cartel or something.
And it's that classic thing of like filmmakers whenever they're filming in Mexico and they have that orange filter.
The orange, dude, it's straight up. And everyone's evil and everyone is a backstabber and we're all horrible. And it's funny because, you know, Bad Bunny, you know what his first role was? It was a role in Narcos, the cartel series, the crime cartel series, and he was an actual like gang leader. So it's like, oh, so his first role was a gang member. Okay, and he's Puerto Rican, makes sense. And you know what he's playing in Bullet Train, the movie with Brad Pitt? An evil guy. So it's like,
yeah, this actually looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's crazy how he's 28. He started like a few years ago, and this man's already acting with Brad Pitt. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, he's not really acting with Brad Pitt. He's getting his ass kicked, but
he is indeed getting his ass kicked. But yeah, man.
But just wanted to like bring that up. It's the tiniest of nitpicks, but besides that, man, like Young Justice is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
And.
Yeah.
So besides that, when was it? Today's Saturday, Friday.
Today's Sunday.
No, today's Sunday. So Friday I went to I was in Orlando and I went to the City Walk movie. First of all, the coolest movie theater I've been to in years, man. They had the
It's a great theater. It's a great theater.
Yeah, it's
AMC, right?
Cool. I don't know if it was AMC. But they had the like reclining chairs or whatever that you can like lift your yeah, man, that was the best.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'll never forget when we actually had that in our local theater, and my dad's infamous for falling asleep during movies. Recliner.
Hey, man.
And the first thing he said was like, "Oh no, I'm in trouble."
So yeah, Friday I went to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, okay. So America Chavez is the person I met.
Because we all watched it.
Yes, sir.
You haven't watched it, Macho?
No, he watched it. He watched it. We all did.
I watched it last Sunday. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So what's the consensus?
I don't think these movies are for me anymore, man, to be honest. So positives, I love like the cinematography. Like visually, it's probably like the most like interesting Marvel movie I've seen in a while. Like small things like when that ocean was like inside like the coffee cup, for instance, right? Some of the more like horror aspects and shots, like the way that the camera would kind of like move, like not like kind of like upside down almost. things like that. I love the classic Sam Raimi like zoom ins and stuff like that. The times where it kind of like goes inside like people's eyes and things like that.
Got a couple cool one-liners too from like Evil Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really like to point out because it really much reminded me of something like out of Bloodborne. It's a scene where he enters the Evil Strange's building, and the staircase on the sides, it's only ocean. It's like there's nothing, and it's just a staircase. Like that scene reminded me of like Rom, like the church or like the school of healing. It was really cool.
I also loved like kind of going back to like, I don't know if this is like cinematography, but like also just like that one moment where like Wanda like looks directly like at like almost like breaking the fourth wall, like, looks directly at us. Like
when she possesses
I love shit like that.
When she dream walks and she's at the kitchen.
The other Wanda. Yeah. And she looks directly like at us. Yeah,
so
I love
good.
Shit like that. See, that was cool.
I was like, "Are you gonna kill me?"
Yeah. Obviously the stuff with the Illuminati, that whole battle, that was like the
massacre.
That was the coolest part of the entire movie. And then like like
had
overall,
my jaw dropped, man. That was wild.
Yeah, it was cool. Even hearing like the meme like what mouth before I went to actually see the movie, like I had no context. I didn't even know like what that meant, but I heard that line obviously, and like I still wasn't prepared. Like it was still so cool.
I think anyone is prepared for that scene.
Oh my gosh, he was so savage. I love it.
Just overall, why I still like generally like the movie is because I still like the premise of like Wanda being just a villain. I think is the coolest thing. Like someone who has been like in the Avengers, someone that we've seen be the quote unquote like hero, doing all this to me is like it feels different for an MCU movie, and I really appreciated that stuff. But other than that, man, like I don't care about anyone in this movie, man. Like Doctor Strange, like him and his girl, like I didn't care what was going on there. Like even like the stuff of like Wanda and her kids, like Elizabeth Olsen's acting her ass off, but like still like I don't know, man. Like I don't care about that relationship.
Did you watch WandaVision?
No, I didn't.
No, that's yeah. I thought as much. As soon as you said you didn't care about the movies, I'm like, he didn't watch this show. Because it's like, a lot of people are like, no, you can enjoy this movie on its own. It's like, no, I think WandaVision is like key.
But even still though, like I'll bring up something like God of War 2018, right? Like that was like a lot of people's like first entry point into that franchise, and they still make you care about Kratos, even if you have no prior sort of experience with that character. So like I'm not saying that like sure, like
a bit
WandaVision
different
would have helped, but like I don't know, man. I still feel like this thing kind of needs to like stand on its own. That's another thing that kind of annoys me about the MCU is that you got to watch all this shit to you know what I mean. So like I still feel like they could have made me care regardless if I had watched WandaVision or not.
I feel like that's kind of a stretch a little bit, man, because like a lot of these relationships like actually hamper on the fact that they have history. So it's like to kind of like jump the gun on it is kind of, but like it's weird.
So like another example is like Civil War. I didn't watch any of the Captain America movies before that. I only watched Iron Man 1 before that movie, and like I was still fucking invested at the end when it's revealed, you know, the whole Bucky situation with Tony and Cap at the end of that movie, and like I'm invested into that fight when, you know, it's like 2-on-1 against Tony, and like the look on Tony's face when he finds out the truth about, you know.
But did you watch the previous Iron Man's and Captain America's?
No, I just said
really?
That was the first Captain America movie that I watched, and I only watched Iron Man 1. So like I had like
no knowledge.
Basically like zero context to like anything that was happening in that movie, and like I still kind of cared. So like I don't know, it's definitely a case by case basis, but
but I don't think I think we're in the MCU, and this is not me defending it. Like honestly, I do think that the MCU at this point, we no longer are at a point where we can just enjoy a standalone without zero knowledge of others, because this is phase 4. You're talking about phase 2, I think Civil War is phase 2. like we're phase 4, and this movie is very much a setup movie, like entirely so. Every scene in this movie is like, oh, we'll talk about this more in the future. It's like the John Krasinski thing, like being Reed Richards. That's a fan cast. That's not like something that they just out of the good of their their intentions was like, oh, you know what, who's good for this? John Krasinski. Don't get me wrong, he was great as Reed Richards, but that very much is like all right, y'all can shut up. Y'all can shut up now. He's here. We don't know if he'll be back, but because it can be that's another thing, like the whole variant thing. If low key, like we're in territory where you have to be. It's like Star Wars almost. Like if there's certain things in Star Wars that you can't watch unless you watched like every movie. That's why I like The Mandalorian so much, because you can enjoy that series without having ever watched anything Star Wars in your life.
Yeah, I completely agree that we're definitely at that point where like if you're not like a super fan who has watched like everything, all the TV shows and the movies that have come before this, then yeah, it's definitely it feels like you're lagging behind. Like it's gonna be hard to follow what's happening, and especially for me as someone who has watched maybe 7 of these movies out of the 28
There's like 20
that are out.
It's like 26 of them or 27 or something.
Yeah, so like I feel like I'm definitely like a rare like case or exception or whatever, but
not at all, man. You'd be surprised. Like there's a lot of people that really, at least now, because I know that for Endgame, phase 1 through 3 fans are like in the millions, but I do know that after Endgame, a lot of people fell off, and I get it.
I kind of felt the same way. I kind of felt like I had fatigue until they brought out the new shows. I was like, okay, they're actually bringing something different, and something that feels different, and they're setting up stuff that's pretty cool. But even then, like every time there's a movie coming out, I'm like, maybe I'll watch it.
Absolutely, and the thing now is like, not only movies, man, the shows. You have to watch the shows, like next time we get a Captain America movie, you're gonna have to watch Falcon and Soldier, because there's no way you're not gonna have to watch that show to enjoy the movie or like understand the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, it's the name of the game now.
Yeah. So last thing that I will say is that like this movie is called, and then like I want your guys' thoughts on how you felt about the movie.
Yeah.
So the movie is called like In the Multiverse of Madness, right? And I felt like they could have done, and I guess watching Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of spoiled me on this, because that just the utilization of the multiverse in that movie is like chef's kiss. It's so fucking cool.
Right.
So like with that being the title of this movie, I feel like they didn't go far enough with it. The scene where both America Chavez and Doctor Strange are like literally like being plunged into like multiple like different multiverses. Like at one point they were like paint or whatever, right? And you're seeing like them getting transported to all these different places like in quick succession, like boom boom boom, like one right after another. Like I wanted more of that stuff. But then what we get in actuality is they land in New York that has a bunch of flowers, and everyone's wearing black, and then people are wearing fedoras, and that's like the extent of like sort of like the multiverse like in this movie. Like I really wish like there was so much potential for that stuff, and I feel like they didn't go as far enough with it as I would have liked them to go, if that makes sense. Like it was cool seeing the Illuminati. But yeah, just like that one scene where they're flying through all these different universes, like I wish we got like more of that stuff where we got to meet more like different versions of characters and things like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they really only like scratched the surface on that promise of multiverse of madness, and we didn't really get much like madness, I guess. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but that was my 2 cents.
I do think that the pandemic and like the current predicament like influenced that a bit, because there's there can only be so many movies being produced at once, and I think that in order to get that vision that you're talking about, you need a lot of people, a lot of like A-listed or S-listed like actors to like make appearances, because you're not just gonna like, oh, this is a world where candy poisons you. Oh, this is a world where people walk backwards. Oh, this is, and it's like, okay, so we just visit a bunch of worlds that have like one different thing from each other. And it's like, I felt like the madness part, multiverse, it's in the little things. Like when Wanda is trying to look for the Wanda that she wants to dream walk in, and she's looking at all these different multiverses, and she has like this grid map in front of her. When Chavez is punching Wanda, and behind her is like a star shape, and then the inside there's like a different multiverse, and another punch, and another multiverse, and another punch. I feel like that's where the multiverse, and also America Chavez herself, I do feel that, I mean, she said herself she's the only one in existence. She can travel between multiverses. I think that Multiverse of Madness very much is not so like. I got my fill of the madness and multiverse part of it. Madness was Wanda, or rather Scarlet, because that wasn't Wanda. And then for the multiverse part, I think I got my fill in certain aspects of the movie. But I do understand, and if everyone, everything everywhere all at once is spoiled you. I can see how watching something that actually goes to different multiverses will like feel jarring when you watch something that's like more high budget but doesn't explore as many. But I also think that this movie should have been longer or cut into 2 parts. There was a lot in one movie. If they did a 2-parter, they could have easily like done what you were saying. So like have a movie dedicated to exploring different multiverses, and then the other one like focus on the plot. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. I was talking to Macho last week, and this movie easily like is top 5 for me in the MCU. I love horror, and I love the way that they incorporate it in this movie. I love Scarlet Witch. I love the fact that they give hints at people like Franklin Richards, like Reed Richards' son, at Monica Rambeau being Captain Marvel after seeing. I think, is it her or is it her daughter that gets the powers in WandaVision's Macho?
Her daughter, yeah.
Yeah, like cool little nods to that. It's like, oh yeah, probably her daughter's gonna be the next one that looks this badass. Xavier, seeing Patrick Stewart. Oh man, yo, this is like wild. When I was watching the movie, I had these 2 ladies behind me whispering throughout the whole movie, and theorizing, and one of them was explaining to the other girl what had happened and why things were happening. It seems like one of them didn't watch the other movies, and it was annoying as hell. But when Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier, is on screen, and it's him walking towards Wanda, and they show the back of him like he's walking towards Wanda, the girl behind me goes, "Why is his head shaped like that?" And I'm like, bro, what in God's name is going on? Like, put some respect to Sir Patrick Stewart. What's going on, man? Like, even if you don't know him, like, you have to. I feel like for Marvel, he's like almost like Mario, where it's like, this man has like appeared in other movies. Like, about Professor X, Charles Xavier. So put some respect. But I love it, man. Again, him getting his neck cracked and snapped like that, dude. I wanted more death. I wanted more. Like with Disney, like when Captain Carter got split in half, I wanted to see that.
They censored it, man.
Don't censor that shit, man.
Censored it.
Show me that.
Dude, it's PG-13. Relax, bro.
It's like, but they showed going back to Xavier. Wanda did not just snap that man's head. That man's head. She like decapitated him as well. You slow that shot down, and his head like lolls off of his fucking body. It's quick, so obviously you're not going to see it.
Yeah, people are shocked.
You don't slow it down.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
You're not going to see it if you don't slow it down. But like, why can she do that, but we can't see Carter get cut in half, man? That was another thing.
I think it goes back to like the whole imagination aspect of horror, where like what you don't see is scarier than what you actually see.
Yeah.
And that's what makes ghost stories so damn scary, especially The Conjuring and stuff like that, because what you don't see in front of you ends up being the most scary thing.
Yeah.
So like that's what I thought when they did that cut where she actually just got split in half, and all you see is just her body just limping onto the ground, and then that's all you see, and you see the blood coming from the shield. Like that thought itself imprints more in my mind than seeing her get split in half.
How do y'all feel about the Doctor Strange like fake jump scare like setup where he's running down the hallway and you see the shadow and it's just him? Did y'all like?
I didn't really, to be honest with you, I didn't really get like a jump scare. It's more of just like visual scares.
Yeah, was it like a nice cop out at the end? Like, oh no, just kidding, Doctor Strange. Did y'all like laugh at it, or like, that's kind of lame?
I didn't really think much of it, really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I saw a lot of people on Twitter like, oh, this was like Marvel commit. And it's like, dude, what did you want? Did you want to? There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There.
I mean, for what it is, and for like what the MCU has been like for the past 10, 15 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I feel like what this movie accomplished, it accomplished it. It did really well for what it was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think overall it's one of my favorites just because of like how different it felt, and I love that these movies have DNA for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That you can kind of see the similarities between them, and not that it's good or bad. I guess like it's depending on who you really talk to and like what you really like. But I know since we barely watched them because the movie just not for him. But for me, I love that they all kind of have this DNA that kind of ties them all together, and they feel like one singular thing. Because otherwise, you have this problem where everything feels disconnected and nothing feels cohesive, which is kind of the problem we had with like the Justice League movies and stuff like that. Nothing really felt cohesive or like it was one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Marvel movies, this one just felt like so out of left field, being the way it was, and I kind of enjoyed it. And you still get the hints of Marvel flavor in there, which is like it did a really good job of having that Marvel DNA, the MCU DNA, baked in with this entirely new genre that was just so surprising. And to your point, Soul, just making Wanda a villain was something it was absolutely like a fantasy of mine to see these characters like go from like how far they go off the deep end, and to have Wanda really go off the deep end, like to be honest, to the point where I was like, yo, this is wild. Like she's like a legit psychopath. Like she has no mercy whatsoever. It was scary.
She's not a psychopath. She's a mother.
It delivered it delivered an MCU villain that had me legitimately scared for the other characters. And
I haven't felt like that since Thanos.
Yeah. Thanos was the first time where I felt like dread in the movie. Like, damn, like these characters can get absolutely obliterated by Thanos. Like, there's no question in my mind.
And they did.
And they did. But and Wanda, at least in the with the Multiverse of Madness, it was the exact same thing. I was like, dude, like she just split Captain Carter in half. She just crushed Captain Marvel. She just made. She just made fantastic Reed Richards spaghetti and then popped his head off.
This girl shredded Reed.
like this entire time, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like she's nuts. Like this is wild, and it's all because of the whole. She wants to, the whole foundation of she wants a family. Like that's so heartbreaking, and so like seeing that scene where she did see the kids in the other dimension, and she started crying and. They were scared of her. That like really broke my heart because I know what she went through in WandaVision and that emptiness she felt when they were all gone. So for her to kind of revisit that and everything was really heartbreaking.
It's insane that the only way to stop her was herself. No one stopped her. She had to stop.
Yeah.
Because she was unstoppable. It's insane. They would have needed it. But yeah, to that point, now let me go over what I've played real quick because... Well, I mean, it's not like this week is like a plethora of news.
We can definitely label it as a spoiler talk for
WandaVision. What was it? Okay.
Or not WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness.
So, Multiverse of Madness, great movie. We agree that it was a good movie, but Soul has realized that he ain't about it, man. This is the part in Fast and the Furious where he and us, Soul's on one side, and Macho and I on the other car, and we split ways. But all right, man. So what I have been playing this week. First of all, let's talk TV real quick for Soul. So Soul, you still watching Critical Role? You're enjoying it?
No, I haven't watched it in like a few weeks.
Dude, if you get spoiled, get ready, man. There's a lot of great stuff, a lot of drama. We're finally getting into the climax of a lot of good stuff. But there's a lot to come. It's amazing. But yesterday, I decided to continue my journey with a certain show involving a treasure and pirates, and I am continuing One Piece.
You got me excited.
No, not Black Sails. No, not Black Sails. Man, I left out at episode 698, and yesterday I made it to episode 704. But here's the thing. I'm not watching One Piece like traditionally, like through like Crunchyroll and whatnot, because there's a lot of padding issues and a lot of pacing issues. So
you're watching it illegally.
So there's not illegally, bro. Not illegally. So there's this website called One Pace where essentially someone cut down every single episode to fit like manga form. Like the pacing is in manga form. Like everything is just one after the other is like good pacing. So I'm watching it there, and I got through like 6 episodes in 1 hour. That's how crazy the padding is in the show. Because traditional shonen is just awful the way that they pad things. So I'm watching One Piece, loving it. Still love the show. One of the greatest anime ever. And game-wise, I decided to go ahead, dust off my little Nintendo Switch and Nintendo DS. And I decided to continue a game that I had stopped playing like 4 years ago. I don't know why. I dropped it. I was not invested, but clearly my mind was not in the JRPG mindset. And I decided to continue Radiant Historia.
Oh,
Perfect chronology.
Ooh.
So I
don't have that one.
Yeah. Oh, I was made aware this week that this is a hard game to get.
I wish I pre-ordered it, but I wasn't really about like the changes they made, so I didn't even buy it.
You know what's crazy? I never played Radiant Historia, the original, and I remember I was in Walmart in Puerto Rico, and I was like, man, I want to go to the game section and see if something's new, and nothing had come out. I was like, all right, whatever. And I went to the DS section, and I saw this. I just saw the cover. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of colors. That's so pretty. I'll get that one. And it was the Perfect Chronology edition. And I guess my mindset was just, I was not in the, I'm going to invest time into this. I'm going to, dive into a JRPG. And I played for a bit, and I just stopped. And I picked it up the other day, and I was like 10 hours in. So I'm not even scratching the surface of this game. And
how much did you pick it up for? Again, that game's hard to get.
Oh, I got it when it released.
Oh, okay.
I got it back. I saw it at Walmart went back like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, oh, that game looks cool. I bought it. Yeah, now it's like going for like $200. I saw one going for like $300. It's crazy.
Yeah, I regret not getting it because I have the original copy of it, but still, it's just I know that the new one has like new cutscenes and voice acting, stuff like that.
Oh, dude, that voice acting is incredible. I love the voice acting, the dialogue, like the stakes, the two kingdoms fighting each other. There's a lot of political intrigue. There's so much good stuff in the game.
Yeah, it's a great game,
dude. For sure,
finished it, but it's a great game.
The cast, Stock, I love Stock. He gives me Cloud vibes. He very much has that Cloud attitude, very stoic, very reserved, but he opens up eventually. I love Rainy. Rainy's top one, freaking best girl. Marco is super funny, super enjoyable. Art is adorable. There's so much. Oh man, this game is amazing. So I can't wait to keep playing that. I'm playing that, and I got to chapter 2, and because it's a type of game that involves time traveling, and you can go back and do different decisions in the back. It's gonna take me a while because I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna want to do every single route. Aside from that, I decided to pick a game that was on sale. It was $40, and I haven't played it, but I got it because I wanted to get it, and I think I'll start it this week. Ghostwire Tokyo. And I saw it was $40, and I was like, I can't believe it. It hasn't even been a month or like 2 months. I haven't. This is the type of game that doesn't have like the kind of hate or quality that a Babylon or like an Anthem, where it's like extreme. It simply is all right. The majority of people say it's all right. It's decent. It has this. It's like it's not completely solid, but it's not complete trash. And when it's like that, I'm like I'm intrigued because maybe I'll like it. I probably like it. I will most likely like it because I don't have high expectations about things in life. So I bought that. I bought Ghostwire, and I went on a little bit of a game hunting this week on different retro stores that I have locally, and I decided to explore them for the first time ever. And I picked up Golden Sun, was it Dusk Dawn or Dark Dawn or something, for the DS, and I picked up Spyro: A New Beginning for the DS. Spyro: A New Beginning was actually my first Spyro game ever, on the Wii, which made me then get the GameCube ones. I have nostalgia, I have childhood memories with this game, so I'm gonna have a blast when I start playing it. And I also picked up Fatal Frame, Made in Black, I think it is, for the Switch. And
wow.
and I picked up Ikai for the Switch, which is another horror game. So it's been a horror themed week a little bit with that. But aside from that, man, mostly Radiant Historia. Been playing more of the end game stuff of Kirby, different challenges and all that. Getting through that. But yeah, man, it's been diverse. It's been very diverse this week with my games. I love my Switch. If you have a Switch at home, listeners, pick it up and give it some love, because that piece of hardware is a magnifique. Is a beauty. Officially, I think it's March of next year that eShop is gonna go gone.
Yeah. Make sure you buy Triangle Strategy too.
Make sure you buy Triangle Strategy for the Switch. Make sure you buy, what's it called? If you can find it at a reasonable price, Castlevania Order of Ecclesia on Switch. I'm getting into a Castlevania vibe, and I'm gonna start playing them on the collection ones that Macho recommended a while ago.
Yes, sir. They're great games.
Classic games. Definitely give some love to those, and we're almost there on the PlayStation Horizon where the subscriptions are gonna start. So we'll see what retro stuff is there. I'm holding off. I found my PSP. I'm holding off on playing some games on PSP before that subscription starts, to see if maybe there's games there that I can play on my PS5, so I don't have to bother with my PSP. We'll see. But yeah, being very retro this week. But yeah, that's nice. What I've been doing.
Nice. All right, guys, let's jump into some of these topics, because we got a lot to talk about. So you know what? Before we get into the messy stuff, let's talk about Gotham Knights. So they released a decent chunk of gameplay this week. So I'm assuming that everyone here watched it.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. I watched like 4 or 5 times.
My God.
I did not watch it. So,
you gotta watch these things, Soul.
Of course.
But I heard some of the opinions out there. So yeah, I wanna what did you guys think about it, first and foremost?
Did you start, Macho?
You want me to start? Okay.
Yeah, because I know you're more passionate about it.
Yeah, because this is definitely the game I've been looking forward to all year, especially since even last year, because I think it got delayed into 2022, if I remember it correctly. Yeah, just the whole premise of this thing is just so cool to me. The fact that Batman's successors have to take the mantle and save Gotham from this secret organization called the Court of Owls is an idea for a game that sounds really freaking cool. Like, I love that. We're getting like some really cool character arcs where Nightwing's coming back. I mean, I'm assuming, but in my head, and this headcanon here, Nightwing's coming back from Bloodhaven, having to take the mantle of being the Batman. Robin's rising up from the sidekick era. Barbara Gordon from her traumatizing events with the Joker and becoming paralyzed and being the Oracle, now being Batgirl again, and then Jason Todd obviously in this game being revived. Through the Lazarus Pit, I think, and getting like different fantastical powers,
and becoming a bodybuilder. Because this man is huge.
This guy got freaking ripped. I think the reason why they did the character change, because if you look at him in the comics, he looks really similar to Nightwing and Dick Grayson with the flowy hair and kind of the chiseled look. Like, he looks a lot like Nightwing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I think they really differentiated the way he looks, but he looks a little too out there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this game, though, when it comes to the actual gameplay, the first gameplay review with Batgirl and Robin really impressed me. Like, I love the new stuff they were doing to make this not an Arkham game, but to make this like a Bat Family, like a new spin on the Batman games. I think it was a really cool idea, like making it more RPG like. Having some co-op infused in there was really cool as well. Because we seen before in Arkham Knight, at least it's not a spoiler. But it's in Arkham Knight. There's like dual takedowns that you can do with people that you meet up across the game. So the fact that they had the potential there for this game would be really cool as well. But seeing this gameplay reveal for Red Hood and Nightwing, dude, this game
got you moist.
No, it needs a delay.
Yeah,
it looks like it needs a delay. And I think it's partially to blame on the person playing the game too, because
that man was.
I don't want to like rack on people that are doing these gameplay demos because obviously there's some form of like art to them, right? I think there's even like a documentary for Jedi Fallen Order where the game director and I think maybe it was like the combat director, maybe someone else, were actually going through clip by clip, sequence by sequence to get like the perfect looking gameplay to make this game look cool. And again, there's like an art form to that, to make like a really good gameplay reveal trailer and stuff like that. And if you put in the time, people are gonna get really excited for your stuff. It looks like they put this together Monday nights before the gameplay reveal, man. Because there's some guy there's playing as Red Hood that was getting hit a lot, and I'm like, is this guy controller getting disconnected every time? Like, what's going on? Like, this is kind of wild. Like, he's missing dodges, like whatever. It doesn't look cool. It looks like it's very cumbersome and stiff and just not there. It's so weird. It's so weird because you can see the potential in there where Red Hood is doing some shots and he's doing like a little bit of combos. He's hitting people behind him, to the side of him, but not even turning his head. Like, it looks cool, but then there's other moments where it just looks really sloppy and weird. As for Nightwing's gameplay, people say it's a little too acrobatic, but I really don't have a problem with that because that's the way he is. He's an acrobat. It's literally what his background is. So the fact
he's from the circus, right?
Yep. He was literally born in the circus and doing acrobatics. So for him doing those kind of stuff is not really lost on me. It does look a little goofy sometimes, but that's just the way he is. He's not Batman. He's Nightwing. So that's just the way he's going to operate. I'm okay with that. But as the gameplay and the combat overall just looks really like it doesn't look like it's as polished as it needs to be. And you can do a lot of polish within the next 5 months or so. Like, we've seen it before where games completely change how they look like within months. So it's not lost on us. This can happen. But fundamentally, like, I feel like there's definitely going to be some things missing here that I've been looking for. I'm looking for that attention to detail, and it's just not really all there. One of the things that I actually noticed before, and I mentioned in a tweet, was that in the scene, you remember when Nightwing and Red Hood actually had their scene of looking at the Batman mask and kind of reminiscing of like, man, you need to go see his grave. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
They're wearing the same thing. They're wearing, but different colors. Red Hood, I think, is like wearing like a red button down with a little gray shirt under it. Nightwing is wearing the exact same thing with a different color. So they look like they're dressing the same. And like, I know that's like so nitpicky and so dumb to like really like, point out. But to me, that's like, where's the personality? Like, these characters need to like actually have like their own personality and like evoked, and that's through sometimes what they wear.
Yeah.
And their costumes.
And I do think that in this game specifically, what you need to work on like the most in terms of a feel, aesthetic wise and everything, is making sure that your 4 protagonists feel like 4 different people, and that if someone decides to be Batgirl and someone decides to be Nightwing, that there's actual repercussions to how combat will go because you felt those two, because you chose those two. Or even like looking wise, their costumes, by the way, they look amazing. I think that
the costumes, they look great. Yeah,
the designs are great, but yeah, continue.
No, I mean, that's kind of just like my final point there, which is like that's the one thing I noticed. Like, I was hoping that even like, I know it's a super small nitpick, but like stuff like that to me shows that they didn't really think too much about these characters on an in-depth and personal level as far as where they are and stuff like that. Like, I know it's something really, really small and nitpicky that could probably change, and in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But it's little details like that I noticed. I was like,
but I do think it matters though, because at the end of the day, if this is online, there's gear, there's grind. You're gonna be seeing these people a lot, and you want to make sure that you look as unique and as customized as possible. I think it's like Destiny. It's like, I know you only see your gun, but there's so many types of guns, there's so many types. Not one gun feels the same.
Yeah, but I don't mean really like gear wise, because they showed a little bit of that too, where you get to have different costumes or set pieces, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean more of like in their casual looks, where like outside,
Okay, like cutscenes and whatnot.
Yeah, like we're like in the cutscene, and Batgirl and Red Hood and and Robin, everyone is in one cutscene. I don't want three of the dudes wearing the same shirt, and like, and Batgirl's wearing like a plaid shirt or something like that. Like obviously, like where's the costume design here? Like what's going on here? Where's the personality of these characters and like how they dress and stuff like that? Like again, that's a little stuff I look for because I love these characters and they're very defined for me and like
Right.
how they operate, especially when it comes to like Nightwing and stuff like that, and especially Red Hood. So again, just little stuff like that that kind of. But regardless, I think I'm excited to play the game. Even then, it is going to be a $70 game on next gen, so that's something to consider too when it comes to stuff like that. But I do think that it is. I think it's going to get delayed. Either it's going to hit in Game Pass and it's going to be fixed next year, or it's going to get delayed.
I don't think it's going to get delayed. I hope it gets delayed because they can take more time with it. And who's to say? Maybe these 4 months. Again, no crunch, please. Let's go at a pace. If 4 months is a bit of a small time frame for them to work on what they need to work on, delay it. There's no harm in it.
Yeah. I think there would definitely be a big benefit to delay because even I still think the first gameplay reveal is more impressive than what we saw here.
Yeah, with Mr. Freeze in the fight. Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, for sure. This one gave me Avengers vibe, and I don't like it. I don't like when I get that vibe because that game didn't exactly age well. And I know a lot of people are hardcore fans of it and stay true until the very end. But I want to be able to, stay for the long run because I feel like this is the type of game, if it's online only, that it will continue to bring more content as the time goes. Maybe more, once you finish the main game, there's going to be probably end game stuff. There's going to be, special bosses maybe or special areas or more missions in the future, and you need that lasting audience for that, and not have another Avengers situation. Well, not the same people, but it's superheroes. And man, light online, man, co-op. It's good that it's only 2-player, so they have less to worry about in terms of like scope. But man,
that's what makes me think that's not going to have like as much of a it's not going to have legs beyond its release. Besides like the additional DLC and stuff like that. Like it's not going to be Avengers Live Service. It's gonna,
no, not at all.
For Suicide Squad than anything else.
Right, which they got delayed, so good. Take your time.
Yeah. But I mean, in the case in point, I'm still excited for the game. I still really want to play it because of the premise alone of just Batman's successors taking up the mantle. I love that idea. I've been wanting a game like that for a long time. So regardless, I'm going to play it. But yeah, if I were to be really honest about all this, I think it absolutely needs a delay from what we've seen, or at least a better presentation to impress us on the realms of the first reveal. Otherwise, it's going to be really rough, and it's going to be a Game Pass game for sure.
Oh man. I think for me, like the only thing that I have to add to this is like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like why were people so excited about this being next gen only? Like I saw I think it was IGN tweet that out, or like breaking news that Gotham Knights the PS4 and Xbox One version had been canceled or whatever, and it had like over like 10K likes or something like that. And like the reason why I asked that is because like, did you guys like see that gameplay and come away thinking like, wow, that is. I hate to be the like actually guy and like that kind of like armchair developer, but did you guys like actually like look at that gameplay and see anything that was like, wow, this can only be done on PS5 and Series X?
No.
Yeah, no. I mean that's the impression that I get. So I don't know why everyone was like cheering when this was announced and was like, yeah, this is gonna make the game like so much better, and wow, like every other developer should be doing this too, and
Because
stuff like that.
I think because if this is a next gen footage, imagine previous gen. Like I think the performance discrepancy will be so much that you having it on both consoles, you're gonna start running into problems, any performance issues, stuttering between the two people, a lot of lag, a lot of like just server issues. Maybe people are just grateful that. I hope. I mean, I'm being too nice with the internet. Internet can be like disappointing, but maybe it's the case that good, they can. They're not putting their eggs in too many baskets. It's in one basket, they're gonna take care of it.
I think you're right. Well, I think it's one of those lines too.
Because I like to think that people are reminded of games like Cyberpunk where, they try to do both gens, and if next gen now it's when it's actually good and playable. Sometimes you just have to do it for a certain gen. Sometimes games are not made for both gens, and that's just reality is that if you want, you can either have one fully realized game or on one console, or a very mid game on multiple.
Yeah, that's why I think people are excited too. It's not the fact of like, oh, this looks next gen. It's just because of the fact that it's prioritizing next gen, meaning that it's not going to be limited by whatever future updates it's going to have, or the scope is a lot wider now instead of being limited to what it was. It's the same reason why people were, the PlayStation fan base mostly, were upset the fact that these games that were going to be cross-gen, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, like stuff like that, because they, in their minds, the idea that the fact that it's on previous gen means it's going to be held back to some extent.
Which is ridiculous, because look at how Horizon turned out and look at how GT
Right,
turned
but
out.
like look at Gorilla. Gorilla is like a completely different developer from any other developers too.
And it's single player.
Yeah.
Sure, and to that I would say, like, to the people who do have a problem with that, like, have faith. Like you just said, Gorilla is one of the best in the world. Same thing with Santa Monica. Same thing with Insomniac. Like, I would trust them to know what they're doing when working with two consoles at the same time, with cross-gen or whatever. Like, that's why I don't have any concern when I hear specific developers are doing,
But this is Rocksteady, right?
No, this is WB Montreal, which is another thing to consider too. Rocksteady Montreal, WB Montreal, two different titans of developers.
And this one, the history with WB Montreal, are there gaming, like online gaming situations where they turn out great?
As far as I know, the only game they actually shipped out and worked on, like, that was theirs, was Arkham Origins, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that.
Okay. I mean, I understand why the concern is there. It'd be more.
Yeah, because it's more of a lack of faith in WB Montreal than anything else, because
Exactly.
they've only really put out one game, and while some people really like that game and everything, this is definitely going into more of a realm that's different. And then on top of that is next gen stuff, so it's new things, and are they really realizing their full scope if they're on old gen, which according to them they canceled their project, so they didn't. So. So I think it's more just like the fact that it's next gen, the possibilities of it being a better functioning game is more exciting than what it would be on previous gen. But
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. So
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm kidding. I do.
But yeah, man, that is, I mean, currently that is the latest game that we know is coming out this year. So, hey, man, hopefully it sticks. But I mean, by what you guys are saying, it looks like it definitely needs more time. So,
For sure.
yeah, we'll see what happens, man. So yeah, that is Gotham Knights. I am at the very least, like, I don't know, man. Like, I saw, and I think everyone was kind of talking about this too, and I share this sentiment. It's like I saw the like character screen, and it was like, the crafting and like all the armor pieces next to them and stuff like that, and it's like,
Yeah.
but like
I'm
at the
over
very
that.
least, the thing that I am, and Machi, you kind of like alluded to this with like the Court of Owls and just like the premise of the game itself. Like, that is the thing that interests me the most. So if I do end up playing this game, it will solely be because of that stuff.
and still, this is it's funny you say that, because it's always been the case, most often than not, that I hear people talk about DC, and they're always more excited about villains than they are about the superheroes themselves. And that's always been the case for me as well. Arkham City, the one reason why I did really, I mean, there's many, but one of the biggest reasons why I really enjoyed Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, or even Arkham Knight, is because of the villains. Is because of the characters that you meet, not because of Batman. Batman's boring. Batman is just OP.
I definitely disagree with that.
No, because sure. Batman is just built to be unstoppable. Batman, I mean, the nuance, there's nuance in him, but there's more nuance in the villains in those games. I feel like it's not. I mean, Batman lately, there's no nuance. It's like Superman, man. People say, "Oh, you can't make a good Superman, comic because he's so powerful." It's like, yeah, but you can just make all Batman comics like that because he's always the winner. He's always the one coming up top.
No, I definitely disagree with that. You got to read the Dark Victory. You have to read.
No, leave me in my bubble because I'm right in this bubble.
No, the long Halloween, because those are the ones that push Batman's character to the ranking. That's what even if it's the Arkham games do too.
I'm gonna be ignorant. No, I'm gonna be ignorant, and I'm gonna stay in this bubble, and I'm gonna be Twitter.
Oh man. Oh, well, then I guess we can ignore your opinion.
No, I have the Earth 52 whatever. I have the comics collection. I have those. I have the Batman Who Laughs. I have the Killing Joke. I do have I have a lot of them, guys.
The White Knight.
Dude, man, that's something that I always love, contrasting Harvey Dent and Batman. Like the Dark Knight movie, I made an essay for school about Harvey Dent's Harvey Dent, boy.
All right.
Yeah, Harvey Dent's White Knight and Batman, man. Like it's a great.
Cut him off. He's going off a tangent right now.
It's a great.
All right. Let's go.
But listen.
He was talking about school, and I was like, oh no.
Oh right, you're in school.
But yeah, man. So let's move on from Gotham. You know what? Let's talk about the big piece of news that happened this week.
Oh boy.
And that was Bethesda announced that Starfield and Redfall, so they hit you with the double whammy, will be delayed to the first half of 2023. So this obviously this obviously shook the community. So what was everyone's sort of immediate reaction once they saw this news break?
Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Stop. Oh, actually, let me. I feel like it would be good to actually read the statement that they put out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Macho.
Let's see it.
It's a very famous song. Well, I don't know if you know it.
I got it right here.
What?
Okay, so we've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams of Arcane Austin and Bethesda Game Studios have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. End quote. Stop. Let's not be petty, man. Let's not be petty.
Why are you talking to both equals? We're already petty, bro. It's in our bloodline.
I think for me, Redfall wasn't a surprise. Redfall wasn't a surprise at all, because so last year they announced it and they said it was coming summer 2022, and literally since that announcement we have not heard a single thing about that game. So yeah, there was no doubt in my mind that game was I mean, summer is like literally what, like next month. So I was like, there's no way that this game is hitting, that time frame or whatever. Starfield is the interesting one, and I'm shocked that people. It's funny to me that people are like, "Oh, well, I expected that to happen." No surprise there. When I'm like, but I thought Starfield was a lock. I thought Starfield was a lock for November 11th, 2022, right? Everyone was so sure that like, oh, we don't have anything else to play, this year. But once November hits, we got Starfield, right? We don't have to worry about anything. Starfield is like our shining grace, right?
Yeah, from God Howard. That's all I saw.
So like, yeah. So Starfield is the one where I am actually surprised that one slipped because everyone was saying that was a lock for sure. So yeah. So going back to the original question, what was everyone's immediate reaction? And don't sing that song again.
No, I'm not. I'm not. That's more for the people that have weird energy. Because I don't have anything for the developers or anything. Because I'm all for this. Because Starfield is very much a game that has been set up to be like one of the most ambitious games that Bethesda has made. So
Right.
honestly,
First, that's a good point. That first and foremost, I think we all agreed that like putting the bullshit aside, I think we all agreed that delays are welcome. If it is in service of making the end product better, like that, we're all for that. Like, yeah, more developers should absolutely do that. If they're looking at their product and they look at it and they say to themselves that, yeah, this definitely needs some work in the oven, yeah, we're definitely in favor of that.
Absolutely.
100%. I literally just said that for Gotham Knights. Like, yeah, delay it.
Yeah, true.
So
no, and to that point, I really much disagree with like people's notions of like the whole energy of, oh, what happened? Y'all don't have games like. Here's the thing, man. It's petty. It is petty. Like, I'll mess around with the music and whatever, but it's because it's funny for the people. But honestly, this is more than welcome, and more for Starfield itself, because Starfield is very much one of those games that is talked about like a myth, because it's there's so much promise behind it, and the developers are well known for many things and well known for other things, both good and bad. And the amount of passion that apparently there is behind this game, and the little meetups, that the video that they did where the four developers are talking, and like there's a lot of meme history and a lot of real history behind this game. So honestly, I welcome it, and Starfield is very much I think, is it going to be an exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's been a while since Xbox has had like a truly, genre defining exclusive. And I think that Starfield deserves all the time in the oven if it's going to be that game. I'm all for companies having their exclusives. So if this means that Xbox is going to have an even better game by the time it comes out, by all means, man, do it. Same for Redfall. Level 1 Gaming did an interview with the main lead in that game, the performer, and there's a lot of passion behind that project as well. And I really think that this is more than welcome. Honestly, we're a PlayStation podcast, but honestly, this for me is a win for Xbox, because they can just take their time polishing a game that's going to be, hopefully a really, really solid game.
I don't think this is a win for Xbox.
yeah, this is definitely not a win. This is not a win.
I'll tell you why. This is like once again, we're all in favor of a delay. But my thing is, and I'm gonna go in on old buddy Phil Spencer right now.
Flip flop Phil.
So it's kind of funny to me where it feels like, and I saw no shade to IGN, but they put out a video recently where they're like, Starfield, Redfall are delayed. But man, 2023 is looking is gonna be the year, and don't do that, man. Don't do that. But yeah, 2023 is gonna be the year, and I feel like we have been saying that for like the past like 4 years. Like, it wasn't this year, but 2018, man, that's gonna be the year. 2019 is gonna be. Wait until 2020. Wait until 2021. Right? We've been doing the same song and dance with Xbox for years now. Back in 2018, we had Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. 2019, we had Gears 5 and Crackdown 3. 2018 was also Forza. 2019 was Gears 5 and Crackdown. 2020, what did they release? They didn't release. I think it was like Gear Tactics with the launch of the new console, right? They didn't have anything with the new console.
No, I don't know. Was Gear Tactics launched?
Yeah, it was Gears Tactics, and
I
then
know
they
that
had
launched on PC first.
I think so, yeah. And then they had Flight Simulator as well, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then like so my thing is that like they purchased all of these studios in 2018, right? And then they get Bethesda in 2020. First of all, where would they be without Bethesda? First and foremost. But yeah, they purchased all these studios in 2018. They have like over like 23 studios or 24 studios, right? They have a ridiculous amount of teams at Xbox Game Studios. And it's just like where like where is like the fruits of that like promise? Like you guys are constantly making like promise after promise after promise, and there's nothing to show for it. So like as a fan of Xbox, I'm kind of feeling like, man, like I can't, I'm again, like time and time again, I'm being told to wait, like just wait, just keep waiting, just keep waiting. And it's just like, man, like we had this one thing that we could look for at the end of the year, and now you're telling me to wait again. Like,
into the I think it's like the first half of 2023. So the most you're gonna be waiting is what, till June of next
yeah,
year? So a
Yeah.
full year.
yeah.
Man.
I don't know,
Welcome,
man, like,
Mahmoud.
I would be kind of not pissed, but I would just kind of be like, man, like, come on, you know?
I mean, the
Like,
funniest thing I saw was from, I know we shouldn't mention Twitter, but the funny thing I saw was the fact that a lot of a lot of Xbox guys would be like, man, at least we got a PS5. Like to wait to play for this stuff. Like I know we're poking fun and stuff like that, but yeah, it's the reality. The reality of it is that's kind of the situation, really.
and
And
like,
so
and,
you're hitting a lot of points. So I'll let you keep going.
and like the other thing I wanted to bring up was Phil Spencer's tweet. Like, I like the guy. I think he's incredibly smart, and I think he's doing like a really good job in just like steering the ship, the Xbox ship, back into a place where it's like actually like a brand that's looked upon favorably. Like, I really like Phil Spencer. Like, I whenever like this man talks in interviews, like I always like listen to his interviews and stuff like that. I just like hearing like what he has to say. So like his tweet, let me read it out. So, quote, "These decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet those expectations." And I read that, I'm like, eh, you hear the feedback. The feedback has been like coming to you guys since like 2017 about quality and consistency. Like, why why are these discussions like, why is the feedback still happening? You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I hear him saying delivering quality and consistency is expected. I'm like, you think? Like, we've been asking for quality and consistency from you guys for years, and it's still not here. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I just read that and I kind of just like shook my head. Like, of course we expect quality and consistency from you guys, and obviously like it will come eventually, right? When Hellblade and Fable and Perfect Dark and Indiana Jones and Avowed and et cetera, like once those games come out, it's gonna be just like one after another, and I think it will be worth the wait. But like, god damn, dude, like, I don't know, man. Just like right now, it's I don't know. I'm someone stop me. Someone jump in, because I feel like I could go on forever for this.
Nah, go man, go. You're hitting all the points that I would hit, man. Yeah, I think really you honestly just hit the nail on the head when it comes to just the rant here. I think that was just a perfect way to kind of really put that in. But yeah, it's again, it's kind of ridiculous that the guys that are waiting like this long for stuff like that. And I also appreciate the Xbox players that are actually voicing their complaints and still saying like, no, like we understand where you're coming from, but we still have some form of right here to criticize when you kept telling us to wait, and we've been waiting, and now you're getting another delay on something that we're really excited for. Especially people that have been waiting for like kind of a return for Bethesda Game Studios after the fail of Fallout 76, and where they can go from there, and the fact there's a new exciting
Fallout 4
IP.
TBH.
Well, sorry.
And Fallout 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like Fallout 4, but I mean, neither here or there. But
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's just it's it's so baffling to me. But I understand, again, we understand the game delays, we understand all that stuff, but still, it's like, when are we actually going to see like everything come to fruition here? They couldn't release one game this year, one game out of like they're near like what 40 studios or something like that.
I do think that the outrage that some people are showing. I mean, again, the last 3 years, like I know we haven't been living under a rock with how like difficult it's been for development, and I know certain companies have been able to put out certain games, but again, like look at each case by case and looking at how they just acquired a quite problematic studio and how everything is developing in the background and how COVID has impacted and remote work and like.
But this issue extends like before the pandemic.
No, yeah, but that's warranted. But we're past that. Like that's the thing. Like people look for ways of criticizing with things that have been happening. Yeah, but the past is like, let's stop living in the past. Like look at now. Like we're getting there. Like it's almost we're closer to it than we've ever been, and.
But we've been saying that for years.
No, then let's keep saying it because that's the thing. Like, it's a bit.
If you buy a next gen console for $500 and you're being promised next gen exclusives on that thing, they're not getting it till what, nearly 3 years later, or 2 years later.
My thing is like I think about like Game Pass specifically. Like at this point in time, like why am I subscribed to Game Pass right now?
Exactly.
When there's like nothing to look forward to in the horizon. Like I totally like I think there's a lot of merit to the conversation, or to if people are literally asking themselves, well, let me unsubscribe right now and I'll come back, next year. I'll see you in 2023 when you guys actually start like releasing some things. Because like to me at least, and I don't know how you guys feel, but like the reason why I would subscribe to a Game Pass is for those day and date big guns, right? So I don't have to
That's
pay
what people
for.
have been like touting for like the past couple years.
Yeah, so I could get a Starfield Day One or a Redfall or a Fable or a Hellblade, whatever, etc., etc., etc. And like if those things aren't being in there like at a regular cadence, like Netflix is a good example. Like right, like Ozark just came out, Last Kingdom just came out, right? Like I'm on Amazon Prime watching The Wild season 2 right now, but like if Netflix just like for for a goddamn like 6 months didn't like release anything, like a new show or something like that I could be invested into, then like I don't know, then like why am I subscribed into that? I'll come back when you guys release something. So like I feel like Game Pass is also like a big factor into this, where I feel like obviously once Starfield was going to drop in November, I feel like Game Pass was going to see a fucking boom in subscribers. But like now I feel like it's going to like plateau a little bit until 2023, when I feel like they will have a banger of a year, and then those subs will be on the rise. But like for this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they report a kind of like stagnation in subscribers for the service, just because they don't have really anything dropping big in there.
At least that we know of right now, because there are June 12th announcements coming out. But like to your point, the allure of big third parties dropping in is not new to people. It's not going to be as exciting as to other people than just getting like an actual Xbox exclusive. Like that's what people have been waiting for, and a lot of people were hoping that with Halo Infinite. I'm sure for a lot of people it was, especially with the main campaign. But that game has just been riding on a bad train for its MP service, and that's just right now Halo Infinite is just kind of just like a thing that we don't really talk about, we still enjoy kind of thing. People were hoping Starfield would absolutely be the turn of that ship, and the fact that they're not getting that this year is frustrating. I could completely understand that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just think online people like I get the criticism, but some people like just make it such a big like the end of the world like kind of thing. And I get it, it's games, whatever, we know the territory we're in, we know the discussion, but it's just the way that it's talked about online. It's so toxic. And then you have like ponies jumping in and being very like mocking of it and laughing, and like you jump into Twitter spaces and people are just being clowns about and clowning on like Xbox fans that are like, oh no, like just give it a bit more time. It's just the general vibe, general energy is so whack. It's so toxic.
Don't pay them. Don't give them the time of day, dude. Like that. People like. I was watching
What?
who was it? I was watching the Xbox Two podcast, and I love Rand Althor. Like I love listening to him talk, and he got a super chat in there, and it was something along the lines of like, man, I'm so pissed because now. I gotta hear ponies rubbing the salt in the wound or something along those lines. And I'm like, why do you guys why is this shit like so important to you guys? Like, why do you guys like the whole notion about like ponies and Xbox? Like, why do you guys like put so much stock into that and like let that get to you and stuff like that? It's just so weird to me. Like, like, who the fuck cares, man?
I make fun of it because it's funny just to see people act like so ridiculous. And unfortunately, it's in a lot of podcasts too. Like a lot of people that talk about podcasts, and that's where it becomes toxic. Where you want to joke around, have fun, but when you do too much, and when you seem like you have some sort of agenda, then it's kind of funneled, and everything kind of bleeds out like that. Then you see more of that because it's more of the joking manner and stuff like that. But I understand where you're coming from, Walt. I understand like the whole like the whole ferocity of everything, how it's kind of just expanded to something that it really shouldn't have. But I think what people are really driving the core message of the fact that they're paying for something, they're paying for a promise, and Xbox is not delivering on that promise.
But that's the first mistake, though. I think as a consumer, also you don't pay for promises. This is long, and this is it's too late. Not late. It has been a minute, right? They've been doing this for years. Then you should have stopped years ago. Like, why are we still buying into promises? Don't complain about something that you could have stopped before. Like, it's just absurd. We're trusting a company. Don't trust a company. They're in for the money. They're doing a product. They're doing a service. Why are we still buying promises? Buy actual things that are in the market.
And I'll answer your question. Loyalty. Figures. Icons. We literally just talked about Phil Spencer, how people praise Phil because he's such a great guy, because they trust him.
Yeah, his image, the image of him that we have, for sure.
Exactly. So when things like this happen and people were upset, the reason why they're upset is because they invested their time and their money and their loyalty into their hobby and into a person that's funneling that hobby for them with great experience or supposedly great experiences. So that's the reason why we have this sort of reaction. And that's why I joke with Flame too. Like I think we joked around before. Where I was like, "Yo, jump in, get a PS4 for cheap, get a Final Fantasy 7 remake, all that greatness." And he posted like a meme of Cortana with a sad face and like being an Xbox player. And I'm like, "Oh man." Well, like we can just joke around stuff like that because we know like these people know who they are. But like it's case in point, it is a lot to those people that invested in that time. And I think one person that I was listening to a Twitter space say that they had Xbox Game Pass until the end of 2023, and that's not really in 2023 is when those games are supposedly going to start getting delivered.
Yeah, it's the same situation.
Delivered through 21 and 22, and they're not getting nothing for this whole year.
It's just like when people say I have PS Plus until 2024 or whatever.
Exactly.
I know. No, it's the same energy, and that's the thing. Like my thing is not against or PlayStation or Xbox. It's more to the consumer and like be a bit more critical in how you spend your money. Again, I'm not anyone to tell you how to spend your money, but don't put the energy that you are putting out. We have to think. But I know that's not too common today. But hey, that's what we're here for.
The other thing I wanted to touch on, going back to the Game Pass aspect, Macho was kind of talking about, third parties and that they'll need to go after third parties to kind of like fill in the hole or the gaps that have been left behind by Starfield and Redfall's delays, and I'm like, what third parties? like there's Saints Row, there's Gotham Knights for this year, Call of Duty, I think,
Hogwarts
at the end of the year, Hogwarts, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like Saints Row, for instance. Does that really like move the needle, like in terms of like Game Pass?
It doesn't, man. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what moves the needle as long as it's Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
it's a bragging right. It doesn't matter what game it is. It's a bragging right. They did the same thing with Outriders. Avengers came, Guardians came. All the people were saying like, "Wow, I get to finally play this game because it's in Game Pass. It makes the service worth it, right?" That game was on like $30 like 2 months ago.
Who cares? Who cares about the people on Twitter and what they think? Like specifically talking about like
consumers.
from Microsoft.
No, but that's what I mean. But that's what I mean about for not for people on Twitter, not them bringing a talking point. It's literally a bragging rights service for the service itself. Think of the marketing you have. That you have a Batman game day one on Game Pass for $15 or $1. That's a marketing ploy. That's not like a Twitter is whatever. That's a marketing ploy. Who cares?
Yeah. I just wonder, like, does that again like move the needle in terms of like subscribers? Like, does getting something like a Saints Row?
I think if you get stuff like more Japanese titles, like there's certain audiences that if you put on Game Pass, I think there's gonna be more people into like the idea of Game Pass, but that's a long-term thing. It's not something that if next month, Persona 5 is on Xbox and Game Pass, that's not something that'll just, there's 1 million subscribers. Like, that's not something that just immediately will. It takes time. You have to build again, because again, people are not looking as forward to Game Pass, like releases month to month, because there's no day one, like, big titles. Like MLB The Show, that was a miracle that happened, but that was a timed exclusive, right? Like I don't know.
It wasn't an exclusive at all.
Like it was a time or like a timed like thing on Game Pass, or is that on Game Pass still?
I think so. I mean,
Wait, for
it was
game?
just a
for MLB.
It just dropped into Game Pass day one. That's it.
So
MLB is not exclusive or time.
No, not exclusive as in like only on Xbox, but like on that Game Pass for like a certain time, like an exclusive like timed thing, like a time thing, or was it there for like permanent?
No, I think it's there permanently.
Like games like that, big games like that, but there's not big games like that. Like you said, Saints Row doesn't move the needle. Maybe 10 people. I don't know how many people. I don't have a spreadsheet in front of me. I don't know how many people this will move. Like we can only speculate.
And then the way that people are talking about Gotham Knights, like, I don't know, like, does that move the needle as well? Hogwarts would be huge, but like
that would be huge.
That you would have to put out for that to get in there. Day one, I mean, obviously Microsoft has money, so I guess they could do that. But is that something that WB wants to do? You know, like I don't know. Like that's the thing we also have to take into consideration. Is like it's a two-way kind of street. Like obviously Microsoft would love to money hat and put everything in the Game Pass day one, but like on the flip side, like does WB want to have Gotham Knights in there? Do they want to have Hogwarts Legacy in there day one? You know, things like that. So.
Then, gentlemen, I pass the question down to you two. What will move the needle this year if they do it this year? Or what can move it? Mm-hmm.
I mean, something like a Call of Duty, but...
But we're not seeing that until next year because they're not doing it this year.
Sure, but at the same time, I don't see a reality that Activision, independently as they are right now, would want to lose out on, you know, a $70, $70 that they can get on Xbox and PlayStation. I don't see a reality that they would want to lose out on that.
What about you, Macho?
I really don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
I really don't know. It's because the game industry and fans are just so unpredictable. It's all about following trends, and
because it's such a small community as well. Like there's only like the community itself. The people themselves, like there's only so many ideas thrown around. This is something that needs some brainstorming. Like these are things that not one, because you know, and specifically just people, like you see how, if they do this it'd be super easy, or if they do, it's like it's not as easy as just making a decision. There's so many repercussions and so many things that you have to account for. What is that thing? I don't know, but that's why they have professionals in there to
I think it goes back to like what Soul's saying, like what developers will get out of, or publishers will get out of it for a deal like this. Because if we look back on past deals where something like Square Enix, right, like they treated Game Pass as a safety or a failsafe for the games. Outriders, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. They threw in the Final Fantasy games on there because everybody knows the Final Fantasy games. Like, might as well just add those to it.
Yeah.
But then they did the same thing on PS Now. So it's really unpredictable of what's gonna. I think it's just a matter of like what Microsoft wants to throw their money at, what makes them think it'll be worth to get those numbers up, and it's all about what's happening in the game industry right then and there. I don't know. The real needle mover would be those exclusives, but they're not getting those until next year.
quote unquote.
quote unquote. Yeah, like I don't even know if like how much the Game Pass numbers grew if with the Halo Infinite stuff. I have no idea how.
And if it
actually
did,
grew
it
because of
dipped because it's not the care and maintenance is not there, or the constant content. I mean, I feel like I've seen so many people talk about how Halo Infinite, like, where are you? Like, what happened?
That's the multiplayer, and that's free to play. I don't really consider that something you need Game Pass for. I mean, more for like the actual single player.
The actual experience of the single player.
Yeah, like did it actually grow Game Pass subscribers as much as
I don't know.
Xbox was hoping for?
I don't think so.
Like, we don't know, so I have no. I feel like Starfield is absolutely going to be that one to be like, yeah, this is actually going to bring us up to at least 30 million subscribers. Or something.
Yeah. When it does come out, like yeah, that is going to be the thing that people are subscribing for. They will see a huge uptick in numbers once that game comes out. But I just don't think that they're not going to have that uptick, obviously, this holiday. Now that game's not there.
And circling back to my original point, how is that a win? The win is not now. The win is when that game comes out, because if they're polishing it more, they're aware that is the game that will bump up probably the subscribers. That is the game that will like officially start Xbox next gen.
Well,
I mean, you would hope.
You would hope. No, and that's the thing. That's the thing with every industry. It's hoping, man.
Because we could have said the exact same thing for Halo Infinite, and look where it is.
No, absolutely. But again, if I'm not hoping, I'm miserable. I don't want to be cynical my whole life. I want to be hoping. I want to be a sheep. I want to.
Oh, don't do that.
No, I'm kidding. Man. No, but I do think that having some sort of not expectations, gotta temper them a little bit, but have a little bit of hope in terms of, hope that this game turns out well, but expect it to not, because that's the best way to approach. That's how I approach all my games. That's why I'm very rarely disappointed. But also, I'm critical about my money, guys. I don't buy everything, and I know what I buy. So let's not pretend let's not try to cover the sun with one finger, with one hand. We know what we're getting ourselves into. Okay, thank you for coming from the TikTok.
I forgot who kind of like mentioned it, but like, I do think that like once the game comes out, like it will eventually be like I hate using the term, but like it will be eventually a win, because like once the game comes out, no one's gonna remember this that's happening right now. But as for the current time, yeah, this is something we're obviously gonna be disappointed and talk about. But that disappointment's gonna evaporate. No one's gonna remember this once the game eventually comes out.
So, do you think people will remind CD about Cyberpunk once the other Witcher comes out? No, they're gonna forget about it. They're not gonna put the same energy.
No one's gonna forget about that,
man. Attention span in this community ain't that big, man.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
Mine ain't.
Was literally brought up when this game, before this game was delayed, that there was a developer on the team that was saying that Starfield could be the next Cyberpunk if we don't delay it. So
damn, delay it.
I think Cyberpunk is for sure gonna continue to reverberate across the industry for years to come. So
yeah, well, I don't know about. I hope that's true. But I don't have that much faith in the community. See the difference? I have faith in a good game. I don't have faith in people's reception. That's the difference. It sucks, man.
People remember the bad as much as the good.
I mean, I don't know, man. I hope so. I hope the energy keeps on, because I will remind them. I don't forget shit. I will remind them. You hear me? Ryan? I don't know.
But yeah, man, that's I guess that's pretty much all that we have to say about Starfield, unless
my mood.
Your rant was kind of perfect, man.
It was all right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me, I guess.
You should write an essay on it if it's so interesting.
Oh man.
You want smoke? You want to make fun of me? I'll make fun of you, punk.
No, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting that the fact that they're going to go through a whole 2022 without really like kind of a single game from that.
At least for what we know right now.
For now.
Yeah. June 12th could probably.
Who knows? Yeah.
Even though what we do know as a fact is that we are halfway through May, and they haven't released the first party game. So we can say that definitively, but for the rest of the year, that's still kind of up in the air. Maybe they'll surprise us at E3, and they'll show something that's
Where?
dropping in November or something. I don't know.
At E3.
At E3?
E3 or their showcase, whatever it's called.
Nah, you know what the real one everyone's gonna watch? Summer Games Fest.
Summer Game Fest, man.
Oh, right.
Man, that made those Shadow drop Elder Scrolls. Psych! Am I right, guys?
Okay. So that's I'm glad you mentioned that. So that's another thing that like, how do I want to phrase this conversation? So like, I'm sure you guys have seen the whole thing with when Starfield was like, releasing their talks and whatever, and everyone was like, because in the community, everyone's been like, we haven't seen anything from Starfield. How can people be excited for this game? Like I'm sure you guys have seen that, and then the classic response is, well, this is just how Bethesda does their things, right? They show up to E3, they have the big gameplay blowout, and then the game comes out a few months later, right? Like I'm sure you guys have seen that kind of excuse or whatever.
Yeah.
And like
Copium.
to me the why I always roll my eyes at that. First of all, they only did that one time with Fallout 4. So like the people acting like this is like a normal occurrence for Bethesda is just like it's not. They did this with Fallout 4. And that's it. Second, why Starfield is not comparable to what they did with Fallout 4 is because they literally announced this game in 2018. Did people just ignore that fact? They announced this game in 2018. We have known about this game for 4 years now, okay? It's like I don't understand the excuse of like when people would bring up the genuine and like warranted criticism of like, man, like we've still seen nothing about this game, and why are people like so excited about it? I
do think the concept art got me a little bit excited because I'm a nerd for sci-fi, and I really like the concept art. So I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
And
yeah, I can't front either. I saw the concept art for Alan Wake 2, and I was like, oh.
And I recall EA for several years showing concept art and devs working and drawing shit on their pads for Mass Effect Andromeda at E3.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, that's I don't think anyone else did except me.
Well, good, more for me.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I just find that excuse so weird.
Yeah.
When I don't think the two are comparable at all. The Fallout 4 to Starfield, because it's not like they announced Fallout 4 in 2012 and then showed gameplay in 2015 and then released it in November, right? Like it's
right.
It's just not comparable to me at all. Like they announced it in 2018, went radio silent for years, and showed a CGI trailer. Then now 2022, they're going to show gameplay, and now the game's going to come out in 2023. Like I don't know, it's just not comparable to me at all.
And it's been in development. I think I saw somewhere it was almost 6 years, right?
I don't know,
something like that, or pre-production or some. It's been a while. No, it's been in the oven for a good minute. I just hope it doesn't burn. Yeah, but I do agree that if this delay didn't happen, we very much were looking at, because the feel is the same as good old punk, but I have nothing. I am no expectation. I'm chilling playing Radiant Historia, man. Atlas has me. See, Atlas is cuddling me like they always do.
Yeah, especially with that mouthwash, huh?
Oh man, listen, no, that's another thing. Continue.
But yeah, man, that's I guess that wraps up our Starfield discussion.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am actually anticipating this game, and I want it to be good. I want it to be good, because if it's not good, what other sci-fi game am I going to play next year? I need to play this. Then I have to wait for Mass Effect 4? No, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not waiting for Mass Effect 4.
I'll just play Mass Effect again, man.
I'll just play a Legendary Edition.
Outer Worlds too, man.
I'll play No Man's Sky. Dude, let me tell you, No Man's Sky, it's kind of saucy right now. Not gonna lie, it's really good. Outer Worlds,
man. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for our Starfield discussion. Let us get into an equally interesting conversation.
Oh boy.
That is good old Jim Ryan, man.
This bimbo Jimbo.
So he sent an email to employees this past week. Basically, the crux of the information is that he said somewhere along the email, and we don't have like the entire context, but somewhere in the email he sent something along the lines of like, let's respect others' opinions. Obviously in reference to what is happening with sort of
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade specifically, and justifiably so. Employees are not happy about it.
But not
So,
only
yeah,
because
this-
of that statement that he said, respect everyone's opinions. It's the fact that he said that and immediately followed with, anyways, dogs. Am I right? And he started talking about dogs and whatever, his dogs and how they like they're
No,
great.
he was talking about his cats and
Cats?
how he celebrated like their birthdays and that he wants a dog or something.
Yeah, that the tone deafness here is because here's the thing: if we were talking about like hell, I don't freaking know, like something equally as controversial as like bearing arms, I'd be like, okay, yeah, respect every opinion. But when it's this kind of opinion where one of them means you lose autonomy over your body, referring to women, and the other one is not, it's like,
it's not an opinion at that point.
it's not an opinion. You're basically saying respect people that think that women shouldn't have a choice, and it's that's where Jimbo Bimbo becomes the bimbo because it's that ain't good, man. I don't. It's dark. It's dark right now, Soul, and I don't like it. It's so dark in PlayStation. Like we got games, but oh my god, when this man talks, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because I've been watching like some people like on the other side of the coin, not specifically that they disagree with like Roe v. Wade or whatever, but specifically talking about that Jim, like he is supposed to be like neutral in terms of like the company, like the company can't take a stance on matters like that because it can't like divide the fan base and then blah 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 and things like that. I don't know, like I'm sure it's a very complicated thing, and like
Yeah,
I guess,
a lot of
like,
legalese.
and I guess I could see what he was trying to do, like trying to be like at the end of the day, like saying let's respect others, opinions isn't inherently a bad thing.
Not
Like,
at
I
all.
feel like this would be so much worse if he did actually take a stance and because it's not like he said like oh, I'm against Roe v. Wade or something like that. Then
Yeah.
then like this would be like absolutely egregious. But then you actually take it, into the context of like Roe v. Wade and that just not being a matter of opinion. Like first and foremost, like governments should not be able to tell you what you can do with your body. Like that's point blank period. Like that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what Jim can do at this point to kind of like what do you guys think? Like, what does he do to sort of like, because obviously like employees are pissed. Like what can he do? Like I don't think he could just like quit and run away from this.
I kind of hope so, but
I don't think he can. That would first of all,
like stuff like this is so. What were you gonna say, so?
because I don't. To me, that's just like cowardly. Like
Right.
own up to the fact that you made a mistake. First of all, and I don't even know if he can.
First of all,
do this,
get
but-
PR, get people to like sit in sit on a table, right? Gather in a meeting, and get people to tell you what you're gonna say. Because if you're left to yourself, you're probably gonna dig a deeper hole for yourself. It feels like you first need like a group of people to like, okay, Jim, this is what you need to say. That's your opinion. Okay, we're gonna say it like this. Because here's the thing: the tone deafness is, like you said, saying respect everyone's opinions inherently is not a bad thing. It's how you follow up with that, because it's like almost like you're dismissing. It's almost like you're making your initial point small, like that much smaller than it actually is.
Well,
Well,
first of all, does he have any business even talking about it? Not even being in America.
That's another thing, because like the fact of the matter is now you either dig a deeper hole, pack your bags and leave, or clarify. It's easy. Choose one of those three.
That's the thing. He has to like
Choose your
and again,
fighter.
This goes to like the practicality of it. I don't know if it's practical for him to definitively put his flag down and come out with like his stance and clarify what he meant by that statement. But me personally, I would like him to clarify. But again, I don't know if that is like the smart, like business thing for like the company to for him to go out and do that. Personally, yeah, I would love for him to clarify what he meant by that statement. But like
Absolutely.
thinking about the business, like I don't know what you do. I thinking about the business as a whole, I don't know what you do. To be honest, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think, Macho?
I stand by he's Jimbo the Bimbo.
Okay.
Because ever since he took over PlayStation, it's just been we're in the same song and dance with this guy. Just fumbles on his words and doesn't know. Really, it doesn't seem like he doesn't really know how to like really lead this company, and they gave it like a straight vision. And we had our criticism on it for when it comes to games and like the direction of PlayStation and stuff like that. But having such a tone deaf email like this, where we understand the whole, everyone having their own opinion, which is fine, because we can understand that point. We can understand that we can have difference of opinions and still respect each other and still work alongside each other. That's how it is. But to have to follow it up with let's talk about my cat's birthdays and how much I want to get a dog, and they're like who gives a shit, bro? Like you try to they did the classic PlayStation thing. Let's couple bad news or a bad statement with good stuff, and he thought his good stuff was talking about his pets. Like that's so it feel like it demeans the entire subject. On top of that, he's not even from America, man. It's so like what is his business in his company to make such a ruckus about this Roe vs. Wade that made him want to send out an email? Like, what was really the cause of? Like, he could just not done anything. Just shut up
we don't know. We don't know. Again, we don't know the full context. Maybe employees were asking him what is the company's stance on this, or maybe they wanted the company to reaffirm their stance on this and things like that. So we don't.
Yeah, because they have been outspoken before with
Black Lives Matter and some of the protests and things like that. So yeah,
you see a lot of people being suddenly Bungie is the example to follow, and everyone's like, "Oh, be Bungie." And it's like,
how awkward is that, right? Bungie actually sent out a statement of that for Roe vs. Wade, but PlayStation really didn't.
Yeah, it really, again, it's like, so to your point, it very much is a matter of context and just seeing the bigger picture. How did we get to that message? Or what happened? Because my big thing is not, I'm not worried about Jim. What I'm worried about is that the safety of the women working for PlayStation and how hurt they are, and making sure that they're not just invalidated and because reality
especially after all Blizzard stuff, yeah.
Absolutely, because reality is culture is a thing, and if work culture is toxic, and let's say a woman is pregnant in that, and she wants to get an abortion in that company, if a culture is reinforced to be misogynistic and pro-life and or anti-choice, as I call it, that woman is going to receive harassment. And the culture is not going to be ideal and not good at all. So this simple thing, again, this could be something completely trivial, and it has very low ramifications, and nothing really is going to come out of it. But reality is, this is your top of PlayStation. We need to make sure that everyone under him is taken care of. But it's funny because we talked about CEO Phil earlier, and it's like, oh, people admire him. And it's funny because Phil talks a lot, but he talks well. Doug Bowser doesn't talk. And then Jim, when he talks, just shut up. It's like, we're past the era of Sean, Reggie, and Phil. And this new era is kind of weird, man. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's really it for this, man. Again, I don't know. If I had to bet, I think we see some sort of response
statement
or statement.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked Monday. Because it made sense because it happened on Thursday, or I think Thursday. So it happened on Thursday, and it to me it makes sense that you want to think about what you're going to say over the weekend before you come back out and put out a statement or something like that.
He needs to sleep on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see something Monday. But yeah, I don't know. It's again going back to the difference of opinion thing. It's like how do I want to word this? Like, to me, it's like saying let's respect everyone's opinion. It's like if I were to say, oh well, terrorism is cool, you guys would be like looking at me different, right? Like that's not a difference of opinion. Like that's just objectively like fucking like wrong. And I feel like it's the same thing with this as well. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. And it's especially true because, well, like, if it was, if you told me that for some reason, you know, in this alternate reality, this multiverse, PlayStation is only men, it's like, okay, get your act together, but like no one's affected inside. But you know, you got a lot of people in there that need to be safe, need to feel safe, that their job is not a place of harassment and toxicity. But yeah, man, we'll see what Bimbo does.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, it's one of those things where I don't know why you even included it. Like, it's first of all, it's none of your business.
Yeah, follow Herman, man. Herman doing good right now.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this notion. Again, it goes back to like the out of touch stuff, and we see that it's not only in real life issues, but also just in the company he runs in, where he just seems like he's so out of touch with everything. So.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. So yeah, that is that. We will see what happens this week.
Yeah, I want real quick before we go to the next official topic. I want to, because we've already talked about two CEOs. I want to give shout out to a former CEO and his new release book, "Disrupting the Game," from the Bronx all the way to the top of Nintendo. I think it is. By Rich.
He's got some blood on his hands too, apparently. So let's not celebrate any executives here.
But what I need to celebrate is the book that is actually a good read. It's a detailed.
Oh, did you read it?
I am getting through it. I think in audiobook. Okay. So, and he narrates it. So he's a guy that you enjoy listening to. He explains everything in detail. So everything is good. The book. I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the book. It's a good book by Reggie Fils-Aimé. But so it's good. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess really the last topic, we don't have to spend too much time on this, is Dead Space. Dead Space got a January release date for 2023. What is the excitement level for everyone here?
I'm so surprised that it's coming out so soon, dude.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really remember how long the game actually is, but I think they're doing another live stream soon. If they haven't done it already, if that was like just the announcement of the release date. But I really can't wait to see maybe a full blown trailer for Summer Games Fest or something, or Gamescom, and get like sort of like a deep dive into it. It's gonna be really exciting because I think we're starting to see like a really cool resurgence of survival horror games, especially with Resident Evil Village kind of kicking that off and doing really well. And then we have what are the other ones that are escaping me? Obviously the Dead Space remake, the rumors about Silent Hill and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, apparently something's happening with Silent Hill.
Yeah, so like I'm really excited for like with the future of survival horror. It feels like it's been a genre that's kind of been missed for some time. So it's really cool to kind of see this resurgence. Yeah, the Quarry too. Yep.
Which can you guys? So like I just heard this like sort of like retroactively or like through the grapevine on Twitter. But so what exactly is, why is everyone saying that Silent Hill is coming back? Like what happened for everyone to start saying this?
I think it's mostly just like just random rumors more than anything.
Yeah, okay. The whole thing with because
I wouldn't put much stock into it.
Because wasn't like the rumor of like Kojima working on like an Xbox game and people saying like, oh my god.
No, because I didn't look at the image, but apparently like just this week like some credible like images like leaked from apparently a new Silent Hill game that's in the works.
Okay. Oh yeah, one of them. I think one of them got copyrighted. One of them they got taken down by Konami. It was 4 images on Twitter, and I think one of them had a nurse. I think, and like it was like environmental art or something, and they got taken down. Yeah, I know the one I think it's the one you're talking about. because some of it got taken down, and then people are like, "Oh, it got taken down. Oh, maybe." And it's like, no, maybe it's just their property, and they're like, "Let's take it down. You have no right using our property." But hey, man, I welcome a new Silent Hill for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, back to Dead Space. Yeah, I never played Dead Space 1, 2, or 3. The only one I played was like some like railgun Dead Space on the Wii.
Extraction.
Yeah, Extraction.
I thought you were gonna say Dreams.
A dream's recreation.
Yeah.
It's the best
I'm
survival horror game.
I'm definitely looking forward to jumping into this. It looks pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the
changes
best.
and just like it's gonna be a full next gen exclusive too, so that's really exciting. So,
Amen.
Again, it's coming out closer than we really think, and at
January.
Yeah, I mean, so far as we know, January is like open for all kinds of games. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And it's gonna be the tail end of January too, so that's gonna be a great start to the year. I think this really is gonna that's gonna be the start to another great year in gaming, because not only do we have that, but we also Starfield's coming out that year as well, and then whatever we have from PlayStation that they're probably gonna be teasing for next year.
Probably God of War.
Maybe God of War 2, yeah. If that ends up getting delayed, or some people say Final Fantasy 16 as well. So.
Factions.
Oh, you hope.
Because I know you're hung up on that. You're like, factions. Factions is gonna show up everywhere.
Yeah, I really hope, dude. I really hope. Yeah, I mean that might be a 2023 game. We'll see.
We'll see.
What
Yeah.
happens, but either way, yeah, I think that's gonna be the start to a really great year. They were getting a Dead Space remake, and it's looking as good as it is. Like,
And a Bloodborne remake,
really
right?
excited.
And a Bloodborne 2.
Oh, God.
Listen, man, no, Dead Space, like that, it's on Game Pass. Dude, I played it for the original. No, all three are. And I'm getting through the second one. Dude, that is genuinely scary. Like, it's hard for me to get scared with just like action. Like, there's action and there's horror, but that game truly is survival. Like, everything feels scarce. Everything feels like you can truly die. You're not a fighter. You're an engineer. And it's so good, man. It's so scary. The live stream they did, where they show the detailed necromorphs. Oh my God, bro.
It's crazy.
That is the stuff of nightmares. That is the stuff of nightmares. I love it. I can't wait to shit myself. It's so good, man. Dude,
so you just heard this, man? You heard, right?
No,
I didn't just hear it. Like I didn't. Imagine.
No, when y'all buy a horror game, I know Soul is.
Say this though.
I said I can't wait to shit myself with the game. But the thing is, Soul is not one for horror games, so I don't know if he knows this feeling, but when I buy a horror game, I want to feel anxious. I want anxiety. When I play a horror game, I don't want to have a good time.
I want to wear a diaper.
I want to play in the bathroom. Like, I want to have to put like full on a bucket. Cause
All right, man. Let's end the podcast. Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I was gonna improv that, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to torture anyone with that. But yeah, you are looking forward to the game, though.
Yes.
All right.
100%.
I think so.
If they do a collector's, I'm buying the most expensive version that they have when they do it. Hands down.
Man, yeah, that's good. Actually, speaking of that, there's actually a really cool collector's edition for Gotham Knights too.
Ooh, with the 4.
Yeah, I want it so badly, but I can't spend the money on that one.
Nope.
It's a really expensive collector's edition.
And you have a wedding coming up, so no.
Yeah.
No. But yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, y'all still need to play Outlast, okay, Soul?
I'm gonna pass on that.
Outlast is pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know if Soul can handle that one. That's pretty intense.
Soul, you need to break more into horror, man. Like, what's happening? Come on, man.
I mean, I played the important ones.
Which one?
Ones.
Which one's important?
I mean, Resident Evil.
Whack. You didn't play
Light.
Village. That's not horror.
I played 2 and 3. Dying Light is fucking horror. Yeah.
Is it? Well,
The first one I think is more horror, but yeah.
I think 2 when you go into the dens at night.
Oh well.
And fighting the volatiles, that shit can be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're right.
The Souls games could be fucking scary too, man.
Souls games?
Yeah, man.
Oh man, this man.
Are you kidding me? Demon Souls in the Prison of Hope, man. That entire area is terrifying.
It's hard. I don't know about terrifying.
Are you telling me the brain suckers, the wardens aren't goddamn terrifying?
Oh, pause.
Hey, yo, but well, here's the thing, man. I don't know what it is about. So for the longest time, I had nightmares as a child. So anything that's like that, it's like I appreciate. I kind of like am into it. So I see the.
Oh, okay. So you're into the brain sucking. Okay.
Hey, yo. I mean, you play Bloodborne. That's all you get there is brain sucking with insight coming in and out of your mind. So yeah, I guess.
So, you're telling me are they called the Winter Lanterns?
Oh no, that's terrifying, man. That is scary.
I'm just saying.
That
Yeah, you're telling me. You scoffed when I brought up Souls games. So
bro, listen, there ain't a scarier enemy than a Winter Lantern, for sure.
The same thing with the Wardens and Demon Souls and the Prison of Hope in general is fucking terrifying. With that lady singing in the background.
I think Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 3, the Warden area, the prison is a bit chilling because it's scary. Not shit your pants. But like in the what they can do to you, because it's like, oh, don't let them look at you because your health will permanently decrease.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty scary.
And in Dying Light, the babies are pretty gnarly.
I just killed them.
God damn. You following Macho's footsteps are beating underage people because he just beat Bull.
Putting my knuckles on high school kids, yeah.
You just gotta shoot an arrow at their head. That's it.
Hey, yo. This man thinks he's Ellie.
I love it.
Yeah, man. That's all you gotta do.
Hey, man.
But yeah, man. That's gonna do it for the podcast. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this episode. Before we get out of here, we're gonna get started with some outros. Macho, what do you got going on this week?
Yeah, this has been what an episode. Jesus Christ. So you got what you wanted, buddy. You wanted a week of crazy news, like, oh, what's gonna happen? Everything happened this week. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been quite a crazy ride. I'm gonna definitely listen back to this episode and see what I said that could have been said differently and what I really criticized myself. But overall, I think we touched on really great topics and did a good job here. So congrats to you fellas. And on a weird Sunday podcast, this feels really weird. I hope we don't do this again.
Yeah, me too.
But so far what I'm doing is I'm gonna finish up Batman Arkham Asylum today, and probably jump more into Trails in the Sky, and then I'm gonna see what's going on because we're jumping in like the middle of May, so it's like, do you want to start a new game after you finish another one when new ones are on the horizon? I don't know, but I feel like the middle of June at least is gonna be really, really exciting. We're finally gonna get hard release dates for maybe TMNT, River City Girls 2. I'm hoping, hopefully something on Highlight Silk Song. So we're halfway through 2022, and it's gonna get more exciting with all the releases. And hopefully we hear something from PlayStation 2 on other stuff. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna be biding my time and finish up the backlog until DNF Duo comes out at the end of June. So that's all I got.
Nice. Walt, what about you?
Oh my god, I almost choked on saliva. I will be playing more.
Why do you sound like that, man? You're like, I will.
No, because legit, I'm not even gonna lie. When I started talking, I felt the saliva ready to kill me. I'm like, no, don't talk. More Radiant Historia. Oh my god, that game is so good. The music, man. I'll be playing that this weekend, and just throughout the week, I play that in small spurts. I'll be getting into Ghostwire probably next week, and I'm still chipping at Horizon. Oh my god, it's so big. Aloy is actually developing, man. There's a lot of. I thought she was a bit bland in the first one, but now Aloy putting in the work.
That's what I'm saying, man. People really underestimate Aloy in this game.
Doing more of that with Baloy. What else am I doing? I mean, there's so many games, man. Whatever I feel like tomorrow, because I'm in that period. So like, I'm not in a lull, but I'm not feeling a certain game, like only because I like Elden Ring was the last game that I was like, oh yeah, I'm playing this every day. But now I'm like, you know what? I'll play it by ear. I'll play what I want in the moment. So right now it's more just DS and Switch. I'm feeling very Nintendo lately. So we'll
Good
be,
that Kit and Krista podcast, man.
dude, that King Krista podcast, it's some good stuff. Some good stuff. A lot of great
Sure
stories for sure. But yeah, man. I'll probably be catching up on. I mean Monday, yeah, for sure, on the Critical Role episode. But
Final Fantasy 14, bro. Yeah.
FF14. Listen, man. Here's the thing, Macho.
Yo.
That when a game is infinite, I need to know when I'm gonna get into it again because I adore it. I watch streams all the time. I just need to get into it and know that I'm gonna keep playing it and have a schedule because that game is, oh man. I need to be careful because it's a phenomenal game. But yeah, man.
I need to do the same thing. I need to get a better schedule with it after I finish the Castlevania games.
Yeah, man, absolutely. There's so many games I want to get through. But yeah, man, I'll be playing also Dead by Daylight. I'm very horror heavy too. But yeah, what about you, Sol? What are you gonna do with your Wally mic?
Probably get a new mic.
Yeah, maybe not this week, but yeah, eventually I need to. Yeah, I don't know, man. Probably more. I reminded myself how much I love Divinity by playing it during this podcast. So yeah, I definitely
So
wanna
good.
keep playing more of that. And some more Horizon as well. I did. Macho, I don't know if you remember the Draka and Yara, I think her name was, quest where you have to pick between like the two leaders in the or
Yep.
like a commander to side with in the
Yep.
Tanakh, like one of the settlements
Tanakh.
of the Tanakh, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
I
I
do
did
remember
that.
that. I remember that one.
Yeah, I did that quest. It was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, and I kind of like walked into like a kind of like new area because I'm still very much like in the sort of like desert area. And I haven't really like strayed too far from there. So like during that quest with Yara and like choosing between like who would lead this settlement, I kind of like kept exploring and found like a new like a new biome entirely is what I meant to say. And yeah, like I just walking into that new biome was like, man, like I missed this. Like I want to keep finding like new areas to explore. So yeah, I definitely want to play more Horizon this week. Um, Other than that, not too much really. Definitely some more Young Justice. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I need to
So
watch the newest season of that 'cause I keep seeing. I think Greg Abbott was like one of the writers or creative directors, something like that. The game he keeps tweeting out. He keeps like actually replying to tweets and like people are watching it live and stuff like that. 'Cause I don't think it's been renewed for a new season yet. But
oh really?
yeah, but apparently this new season is like really really good. So I'm looking forward to catching up.
Yeah, yeah. It's not on Amazon season 3 or 4, so I think I'm actually just gonna have to like buy like Blu-rays or whatever of them, so I can just watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, The Boys season 3 trailer on Monday. Oh man, look forward to that. Look forward to that. Oh, so
I'm
good.
gonna watch it.
Oh, so good, man. It's so good. It's so good.
Um,
So good.
but yeah, man. So that's gonna do it for us. Thank you for everyone who tuned in and watches after the fact. We greatly appreciate it, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace out.